Broadcasting from their world headquarters in Texas, it's the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show. The show that discusses arcade repair, restoration, news, and more. Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Jonathan.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 107 of the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show for January 2026. My name is Jonathan Leung. I'm the producer, director, and editor here at the Arcade Repair Tips video series. And joining me today, as always, is Mr. Arcade Repair Tips himself, Tim Peterson. Tim, how you doing?
I'm finally on time for once.
Yes!
And I had to go home and change clothes. If both of you who are watching this, I don't know what area you're from.
Did you say both of you that are watching? The two people who are watching this, both of you.
So, whoever's watching this, y'all probably come from different areas. We have had the mildest winter ever. In fact, it was 79 here. They said that was the highest temperature since 1895.
Wow.
So, we're in a heat wave. I think it was 80 degrees today.
It was pretty close.
And so, even for us, January is normally our coldest time. Occasionals every few years we'll get some snow, but I'm sweltering. I am burning up, so I had to go home and got to change clothes. Funny, I'm actually wearing shorts tonight, so that's how it goes here in Texas. But everything is good. It's all good.
Yes, it has been the mildest of winters to start off the year, Tim, and I can't complain, to be honest with you, because to be honest with you, 70 degrees feels really great.
Yeah.
And 80 degrees feels really great right now. So I'm just hoping it doesn't come back in the form of like a snowstorm or like a massive heat wave in the summertime. So
something like that.
We'll find out. But anyway, guys, Happy New Year to all you guys who are watching. Hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful New Year. Tim, we haven't actually seen each other since the last live show, so did you have a good Christmas? Everything was good there?
I did. I had almost 2 full weeks off. I was telling you earlier, I was fixing games. I was fixing repair stuff in the house. I got my new barbecue grill with the cover that you gave me.
Yes, it looked awesome.
I had to get it seasoned and working, so I got the grill. And I was changing light bulbs way up in the ceiling, fixing light sockets, light switches, I kind of went on a rampage. Every day I had 3 or 4 things that I was knocking out, and it felt really good, though, and cleaned up my shop, believe that or not. And so it was just some good downtime. The holiday went by fast.
It does.
Christmas was really quick, and, of course, always good. It was our first Christmas with my granddaughter, and she was, of course, spoiled, got plenty of stuff. But I only had to put together one thing.
That's good.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And it was something we got her, so I didn't feel too bad. Her first birthday is coming up next month, so I've seen the Amazon packages coming already. I know one thing is a big slide that I definitely will be putting together soon. So, how was your Christmas?
It was good. I'm glad that you had a good Christmas, Tim. I was trying to think of a Rampage-related joke since she said Rampage in there, but I wasn't. So it was good. Tim, I did have to put together my fair share of things, mostly Lego sets, and then my daughter got a MetaQuest 3S. The little VR headset.
Yes.
And so I had to kind of put that together and get the account set up and everything. That was an ordeal. But I will tell you that thing is actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So have you used any of the VR headsets?
No, I have before, but not in a long time.
Right.
Remember when Chucky was trying them out years ago?
Oh, yeah. So it's amazing how far the tech has come now. I know that it's not as advanced as like what you get with the Apple Vision and some of the other ones. But the 3S works pretty good. And Tim, if you haven't played Beat Saber before, it's fantastic. It's basically Guitar Hero with lightsabers.
Is it better than the Virtual Boy?
Yes, way better than the Virtual
It's got
Boy,
a few more colors.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So, did that. New Year's, we went over to a friend's house, shot some fireworks, and actually stayed up till midnight, Tim, believe it or not. And we didn't get the kids in bed till about 1. So it was It was a late night for us on New Year's Eve, but we had a good time. So, but hopefully you had a good New Year's Eve and a good Christmas as well. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about that in the after show, maybe what you got besides the grill or some other things. And we'll get into that later. But of course, guys, we are here to answer your arcade repair related questions. So if you have any of those, please leave them in the live chat. Tim, we have quite a few people in the live chat this evening. Let me go ahead and go down the list real quick. We've got Nate Berg is here, Tim. Paul Duray is here. Real Hammer Billy Lee is here. Let's see. Encore MPW is here. Current Phonograph is here. Robbie J is here, Tim. And that's just who's chimed in. Not counting people who may just be watching. So if you're just watching and you haven't watched and you haven't said anything, please let us know where you're watching, where you're watching from in the live chat. We'd love to acknowledge you. Now, Tim, I'm going to go ahead and go to Nate here because he has a question for us real quick. So
Okay.
before we even get into the outline, guys, I'm going to read Nate's question. Hey, guys, Happy New Year. I have an interesting problem. I have an extreme shot basketball arcade game that is suffering from static electricity. The game itself won't shock you, but the balls going in the hoop do. Example, I asked my friend to shoot some hoops and touch me, and he shocks me. The game is grounded with no issues. Eunice says it's the Canadian weather, but I don't know. So, Tim, what do you think about the static electricity buildup, I guess, just from shooting the balls? What do you think's going on?
Well, you know, and it is true. We used to battle this a lot at Chuck E. Cheese in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And because kids, and you can guys remember this, we used to do this at church. We'd go scratch our feet and touch somebody. That hurts.
It does.
And, you know, it's a couple of thousand volts, but just for a tiny fraction of a second. But it does hurt. So, and it's irritating. One thing that you can do is what we used to do. Remember those dryer sheets like you would put in to control static?
Yes.
You could take the balls and kind of just wipe the ball around with that, and that actually helped quite a bit.
Yeah, and whenever you're doing your laundry, I do that on like my sweaters because they get real static.
Yes.
I'll just wipe the sheet on the sweater, right?
Yeah, so get you some sheets and take the ball that you're shooting and wipe it really good, and that should cut down quite a bit. You also, anything that you might touch, like if it has a rail or something like that, but especially the ball, those are just a quick suggestion that I can think of.
Sounds good. Now, he chimed in too, and he says 2 machines, they're both suffering from the same issue, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had no issues with it for 5 years until now. So
Right.
It definitely sounds like it may be a more recent problem like we're talking about.
Yeah, it probably is the weather and
Yes.
the static and the stuff in the winter that we have more often than enough. But sometimes wiping those down with the static guard, the
dryer sheet.
bounce sheet, that will help you quite a bit.
Sounds good.
Believe me, it works. It really does.
Paul Geray says he's working on a K7000 monitor chassis while he's enjoying the show, Tim.
Okay, good.
So there we go.
I've got one. I still haven't sent one to you, Paul. I got 2 coming. Hopefully this weekend I'll make it to the UPS or FedEx, however I'm going to, probably FedEx. I've got a couple that I'm going to send and let him repair because I cannot even find 2 minutes to spare, but I hope that business is good for you, Paul. We're going to send you some.
There you go. Encore MPW says it's rainy there, Tim. And it's supposed to be rainy here today, but I think it got delayed till tomorrow mostly. There was some rain today.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little
not
bit.
much.
Current Phonograph says, greetings from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Happy New Year, all. And then Robbie J says, Happy New Year. Beautiful in South Florida, Tim. There you go.
Okay.
And then Creepers Jeeper says, hey, guys. So there we go. Thank you guys for watching this evening. Now, again, we are going to be getting into some questions from this month. So if you'd like to chime in on any of those questions, or if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, be sure to leave them in the live chat over to the side, Tim. We'd love to get to those as the show progresses. So, but I think we're caught up, Tim, with all the live chat stuff. So are you ready to move into the outline?
Let's go to the questions.
Let's do it. So here are the questions that we have for this month, guys. And this first one is from Mike. And I'm going to go ahead and put the outline up here, Tim, so we can read it. Mike says, hello, I am trying to help my daughter-in-law's boyfriend repair a 1982 Miss Pac-Man arcade game. He says the part went in the gray holder, so I'm thinking it was a fuse. He sent me this picture. Do you know the part he is referring to or what fuse it is and where to get one? He was calling it a transistor that acts like a fuse, but to me it just looks like a normal fuse. I think he pulled it and lost it. Thank you, Mike. So, Tim, you can see here what we have. Now, those of you guys who may just be listening to the audio version of this, you can't see this picture. But, Tim, I would venture to say that this is very clearly a fuse holder.
Come on, 99.99999. That is a fuse holder.
Okay, now you'll notice...
Especially in the bottom of the game.
Right, now you will notice that it looks like one of them is hooked up and one of them isn't. So we're assuming that he's probably looking for the fuse to the one that's hooked up, Tim. Now, as far as which fuse it is, that may be a little trickier. What can we tell Mike, Tim, here to help us identify maybe what fuse he needs to find?
Well, as a general rule, most of the time they would have a 2 amp slow blow fuse in the bottom. And you guys, we've done some videos on this before. But just real simple, that's the one with the really thicker wire in the middle.
Right.
And so it almost looks braided in there. So the really thick wire slow blow fuse, 2 amp, normally goes down in there. And that should at least get his fuse back in line. And, of course, he has other problems after that. You know, we used to get really excited when we would go and we find we were working on a game and we saw that the fuse was blown. We were like, yay, it's a blown fuse. But what we've learned over time is, well, something caused that to blow. So he in this case, though, maybe he just lost it trying to check it, and it may not be the issue at all.
Lost fuse.
But we need to get, and most auto parts stores still carry those.
The little bus style fuses.
Yeah, the bus fuses. Most of our arcade suppliers, I normally buy them. You can get them on Amazon. They're really reasonable there.
Hardware stores have them sometimes. Yeah, you can get them.
I buy them, and I wouldn't buy less than 10 probably, because let's say it is a fuse, and as soon as you plug it in, it blows it. Well, then you need another fuse. So don't just buy one, buy several, and good to have around anyway.
Yeah, now we have talked about those cool circuit breakers that you can get, Tim, that have the little fuse end, and you put it in there, and then you can it basically completes it, and if it's higher amperage, it just flips the breaker. Right. Those are really cool. I got you a set of those for Christmas one year. And so you could do something like that, but of course you won't be able to get that locally. You'll have to order those. And so in this particular case, like Tim mentioned, you may just go down to your hardware store and get you like a pack of 2 amp slow blow fuses. Tim, I feel like automotive stores probably have this more than hardware stores. You
for
might
sure.
find both.
Yeah, I see them at both, but hardware stores, automotive stores always carry them because of cars. Yeah,
right, your AutoZones,
O'Reilly. Yeah,
my kids know the O'Reilly theme song pretty good.
Okay,
the O'Reilly parts.
Yeah.
So who else? Advanced Auto Parts, whatever it may be, those kind of places. So yeah, if you go there, you should be able to find the 2 amp slow blows that you need. Tim, anything else here for Mike before?
You just have to make sure that you're getting the right length.
Yeah.
Those are about an inch long.
Yep.
Maybe a little over 1.25 inches, I think is what they are. But make sure you're getting the right length. Don't get the 20 millimeter, the little tiny ones. Just know what you're ordering.
Sounds good. So Tim, I'll go ahead and put the outline up here so Mike can see it. Yes, it does look like the fuse is missing based on your picture. We're guessing that these fuses are along either the main AC line or the monitor line. Maybe the marquee bulb, Tim, or some other places. Probably on the main AC line, though. So in either case, you will want to go with a 2 amp slow blow fuse. These can be purchased from most automotive hardware stores, like we talked about. Automotive or hardware stores. Many of these arcade parts suppliers on our resources page, they also carry them as well. That's at arcaderepairtips.com/resources. If you go there and you look at our parts suppliers, more than likely you will find one that will have these fuses. You can order like a bag of them, right, Tim, if you want to. The only thing is you will have to wait on them, whereas if you go down to your local automotive store, you can just go pick them up. Now, for reference, 2 amp slow blow fuses are used along the main AC lines in a Miss Pac-Man, but on the 7 volt AC lines, Tim, that's usually a 5 amp normal blow fuse, or fast blow, if you will. And then on the 12 volt lines, it's either a 1 amp fast blow or a 2 amp slow blow, depending. So, it really depends on if you have the cocktail version or if you have the stand-up version of the game.
Right.
And so a fast blow, Tim, just has a real thin line that goes across, right? It's not the little thicker braided line.
It's almost hard for me to see it.
Right. It's not the thicker braided line, Tim, like we're thinking about with the slow blows. And so what you might want to do if you want to make sure is just measure the voltage that's going into that fuse holder. And if it's 120 volts, a 2 amp slow blow will be fine. But if it's a 7, you may want to go with the 5 amp fast. Or if it's a 12, you may want to try like a 1 amp fast or normal blow and see if that does any better. And like Tim mentioned, if it's ever about checking a fuse, you can always get you a multimeter out, do a continuity check on the fuse and make sure it's good. Of course, in this particular case, Tim, we just don't have a fuse. So it's a little bit different. Probably, he tried to take it out. It fell in the bottom of the cabinet and couldn't find it. That's happened to us, right?
For sure.
So, Tim, anything else here for Mike before we move on?
I don't think so. Good luck, Mike, with that. And then let us know from there what other issues you may be running across.
Yeah. And again, this wasn't his cabinet. This was his daughter-in-law's husband's boyfriend's cabinet, right? And so it sounds like he may be trying to troubleshoot remotely and then having us troubleshoot. So it sounds like there may be like a hopping conversation kind of thing. And so if they want to contact us directly, they can do that as well. Just give them our email address at questions@arcaderepairtips.com, and we can do that as well. So, and we can put yourself on there too, and we'll just reply back to both y'all. That's the email chain happens. So Mike hopefully answers your question, and good luck getting the correct fuse installed in your Miss Pac-Man arcade cabinet. Checking over with the live chat real quick, Tim. It looks like we are caught up. Now, Tim, there's a big game tonight, right?
Yes, there is.
It's Miami Ole Miss.
Yep.
6:30?
It's one of the college football playoff games.
So that's when like our entire audience just goes away at that point.
I don't know.
Now, we'll see how many college football fans we have. I guess we'll check it out. Kind of a big game. Of course, whoever wins tonight goes into the playoff, Tim, for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens here in a bit. Let's see. Beasthead says, I'm looking to purchase my first full-size cabinet, and I've sold almost all my, my one-ups. What would be the best size LCD to place in a cabinet? The Unico 26-inch LCD looks okay, but pricey. So the Unico is really good from what we've heard. Now, there have been some little complaints here and there about resolution and some other things, but the mounting looks great in it. And I think that they have fixed some of those issues going forward. And so I would say the Unico is a good option. Now, Tim, if you want to go with a commercial grade arcade quality style LCD, we would recommend going with a Wells Garner LCD monitor.
Sure.
If you see the Street Fighter over here, that has a Wells Garner LCD monitor in it, which is fantastic. Of course, Wells Garner has been making monitors forever, Tim. In fact, most of the arcade games in this room probably have Wells Garner monitors in them. And so if you want to go on the commercial grade side, you might want to look into a Wells Garner monitor. Now, arcade monitors can be purchased from any of the parts suppliers that we have on our resources page, again, at arcaderepairtips.com/resources. Twisted Quarter is a great supplier for that kind of stuff, Tim. In particular, they have several different models that you can get. But it really is up to you. But we do like commercial grade arcade quality LCDs just because they're made to put in arcade cabinets, so they are designed that way. The Unico is as well, and we would put that Unico in the same bucket as I put a Wells Garner. It's just that Wells Garner has been doing this forever, and so. But the Unico for the price is really great. Plus, it is a great drop-in replacement, Tim, for 25-inch CRT monitors. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you're looking to replace, you can do it very easily. So really, preference is up to you. He says it's a. He says the Street Fighter cabinet behind you looks good also, and I wish I could turn it on. It's not even plugged in right now, but if I turn it on, picture's really beautiful on that. When you mount your LCD, though, I like to mount it flush with the glass. If you try to put it where the original CRT was, it'll kind of sit back and it doesn't look right. So usually I have to either put in my own mounting system, or we have to adjust the mounting system that's already in the cabinet to do that. In fact, the Street Fighter, when I got it, was inset. And so I had to bring that whole mount up to make it look the way I wanted. So you may have to do that. You can build your own mounting system because LCDs aren't that heavy, Tim. It really just takes 2 pieces of wood on the sides of the cabinet and just measure and make sure that you're getting a good width on it. And you can really do your own mounting system if you wish. So again, kind of up to you. Unico is a good one to go with, and they seem to have good support for it. Wells Garner has been around forever, so Wells Garner is always good. Tim Betson makes their own brand. Hap Controls makes their own brand, private label LCDs that are commercial grade, arcade quality as well. So, and I think Twisted Quarter offers both those. They offer the Betson style, and they also offer the Hap one as well. So, Suzo Hap version. So it's just up to you. But we would recommend going with any of those over putting a computer monitor or a TV in there for sure. So Alan says, I would have gotten tickets to the Peach Bowl tomorrow night, but Alabama got hammered by Indiana. That is correct, Tim.
I did.
Unfortunately. So it happens. I understand. Tim, the biggest upset to me was the Miami-Ohio State game. I thought for sure Ohio State was going to pull that out. That was at the Cotton Bowl, Tim, in AT&T Stadium. Had a lot of friends there who were going for Ohio State and just didn't work out. Beastheads comes back, Tim. What would be the max size to fit in something like a Dynamo or an MKKI cabinet? Probably 26 inches about it.
Bigger than that.
Yeah, because that's what's in this one over here, and that's what the Unico is too. Because you got to remember that a lot of the Unico, Tim, I think is still 4x3. This one is closer to a traditional widescreen LCD, and so the Unico would give you a little bit more stretch on the top, which would look more like a traditional LCD screen or CRT screen, excuse me. Whereas the widescreen ones like this don't give you quite as much screen, but this is obviously the form factor that's become more common recently is the widescreen style, right? So, so you may want to go with Unico just so you can get a little bit more of that screen resolution, a little bit more screen into your cabinet. But 26 inches is about the max that you can fit into a standard, and you can always measure it, and then check the measurements against whatever the width of the monitor that you want to put in is, just to make sure. But 26s are pretty common replacements for 25-inch CRTs. So, okay. Are we caught up?
I think so.
Let's do it. Okay, let's go to our next question here from Diogo, Tim.
Okay.
Diogo. Okay. He says, hello, friends. I'm subscribed to your channel, and I live in Brazil. I have an arcade that uses a JPAC and GroovyMAME. When I plug the monitor directly into the power socket without the isolation transformer, it works well at first. When I play a game that has a bright screen at some point, like the opening of Metal Slug, he says, the monitor turns off. Is it due to the lack of an isolation transformer? I will be forever grateful to anyone who can help. So Tim, we have Diogo here, and he's got a monitor, and it works fine. It does not have an isolation transformer on it. But it works fine, comes up, plays, but then when he gets like a real bright screen, all of a sudden it shuts down.
Right.
And so he's wondering if adding an isolation transformer will solve this issue. So with Diogo's question here, do you think an isolation transformer would solve the problem?
Probably not, because if it needed an isolation transformer and you plugged it in, it wouldn't even come on.
Correct.
You would have some problems, and it would send very high voltage up there and take a lot of transistors and stuff like that out. But if it comes on and just when that's happening, then it sounds like you're getting a high voltage failure at some point, and you could try to replace some things, and especially in the power supply section needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think an isolation transformer is not going to help you.
Now, we got to remember, Tim, we get these bright screens like this. A lot of times that's pushing the voltage. It's
really
basically
high.
pushing it high, right? Exactly. So here's the thing, too. You may want to check your B plus voltage and make sure that it's dialed in properly. Because it could be that your B plus voltage is low, and then all of a sudden we get this bright screen, and it's just like, I don't have enough voltage to do that.
And it shuts down.
Right, exactly. And you get HV shut down. So it could be something to that effect as well. Now, it's real hard to tell, though, Tim, because he didn't tell us a model
What kind of
or make
monitor
or anything like this. So it's really hard to tell exactly what might be going on specifically just because we don't know that. But I think with that information, we could help you out. But, Tim, you're basically confidently saying that it's not because he doesn't have an isolation transformer.
I mean, if he showed us a picture of the monitor, we could look at that and see if it needs one. But it probably would have already done way more damage than that. It wouldn't work at all.
There you go. So, Tim, with that said, let's go ahead and bring up the slide here for Diogo and kind of go over what we just discussed. From your description, it sounds like your monitor is designed to work without the isolation transformer. If a monitor requires an isolation transformer and it's not hooked up, you will typically blow some diodes or, like Tim said, transistors or something on the chassis. The fact that your chassis comes on and works for a while is a good indication that it probably doesn't need an isolation transformer. It sounds like you're experiencing either high voltage failure or shutdown when you get a bright screen. You could have some resistors, transistors, and or diodes failing in the power supply section. Now, again, start by touching up solder in this section and make sure that your B plus voltage is dialed in. Because if it is not correct, if it is too low, and then all of a sudden you're trying to push more voltage through that because of this bright screen that you're getting, then you may get HV shut down from that. And so you want to make sure that your B plus voltage is dialed in. And then make sure that all of the solder is touched up in this section. Tim, I've had a problem like this that was similar on a monitor, and it turned out that there was a cracked solder joint on one of the caps. And when it started to heat up and expand, it would actually shut off. So it could definitely be a cold solder joint as well. So make sure that you touch up all the solder in the power supply section, check all the parts, but also dial in that B plus voltage. And if you need help doing any of that, just let us know the make and model of your monitor, and we can give you more specific information on how to do all that. Tim, do you have anything else here for Diogo before we move on?
I do not.
Okay, sounds good. So Diogo, hopefully answers your question, and good luck getting that GroovyMAME JPAC setup all working with your monitor. Hopefully we can avoid that HV shutdown in the future by just dialing in that B plus voltage and making sure that all of our solder joints are all fresh and cleaned up. So. Okay, Tim, coming over to the live chat real quick. Robbie J says, I just recently picked up a Williams Moto Race that has a two-way optical joystick. Do you guys know of any other machines that use a two-way optical joystick?
No.
Not that I know of.
I do not. That's a good question.
Seen a lot of Neo Geo sometimes use like four-way optical joysticks. Two-way optical joysticks.
That's pretty rare. Maybe.
Defender didn't. It wasn't optical, was it? No, I was trying to think of something that was optical that was a two-way. Obviously, Galaga didn't. You could put those in the games, but I don't remember them coming with one specifically. I was trying to think if there was another one that came to mind for a two-way optical joystick. Not for sure. We've seen four-way optical joysticks are common. A lot of games use those. You think about Blitz, Tim. I have a 49-way joystick. That's all an optical style joystick, so it's a little bit different. But can't think of anything specifically for a for a two-way. That's very interesting.
Not offhand.
Yeah, for sure. Joysticks Arcade Lethal Enforcers monitor has to be almost white, showing lines in order to recognize shots. Chassis or tube issue, definitely not guns. Tested in another cabinet, and they are working. So he's saying he's having to turn up the brightness almost to where he's getting roster lines, Tim.
Yeah.
So what is it? A chassis or tube issue, or what's going on?
It is more likely a chassis issue.
Yeah.
It's something he's going to have to rebuild in there and get the contrast and stuff up where it likes it.
Yeah, so what you may have to do with that, make sure, now you got to remember there's usually 2 brightnesses and a contrast adjustment on the chassis. Sometimes there's a black level, what we call black level.
But most of the time I would have thought it was a gun.
Yeah, exactly. And so the fact that he's got the guns working.
So they work okay in another
and it
game.
works when he turns up the brightness to that level too.
Mm-hmm.
Now something you may want to do is clean the screen. Please
Right.
clean the screen. So clean the front of the tube because that will make a lot of difference in the way that tube reflects back to the opticals. Okay,
Yep.
So make sure that you clean the front of the tube really good. And if it's Lethal Enforcers, the mirror as well, because you have a mirror in there. Because you got to remember that's a up-firing monitor that shoots to a mirror. And so when you're looking at it, you're really looking at the mirror. You're not looking necessarily at the monitor. And so clean the mirror, clean the monitor screen, the front of the tube. And then also make sure that you're adjusting the brightnesses accordingly. So adjust the one on the chassis. Maybe try more contrast, less brightness. And then try also the brightness adjustment on the Flyback as well, because you may need to tweak with those. And some monitors, like K7000s, have like a black level that you may have to adjust as well. So you may have to adjust the black level depending. So, but yeah, so I think that should, hopefully that gives you at least something to work with. I wouldn't be surprised, Tim, like I said, if it's more related to even just a dirty screen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Good,
So, I mean, you may
idea.
try to just clean that and see if it makes a difference. A dirty mirror, dirty screen. And you'll see where the people...
Even sometimes the outside lighting in your room.
Yes,
Make sure that...
So try making it darker in the room. So turning off some of the lights in the room and then seeing if it makes a difference with the screen, because sometimes that will as well. So Tim, anything else here before we move on?
No, we can go ahead.
Yeah. So I think those are some good just suggestions to try in general. I was trying to think of anything else. It could be that your tube, if you can't get any brighter, could be that the tube is shot. But really, before I went there, I'd probably try to install a cap kit to see if I could get the brightness up. Rebuild the high voltage section, because that can also do with
my
brightness
question
as
would
well.
be, what does it look like if you were just in the track mode? What does it look like? How does your picture look?
Yeah. Now, Lethal Enforcers also has a nice test mode where you can dial in the colors. And so that's another thing you might try. Turn down the brightness, but turn up the colors. Turn up the cutoffs. So the red cutoff, blue cutoff, green cutoff.
Get it lined up the way the game wants it.
Right, and specifically the blue cutoff, because a lot of times optical guns use that blue color to really trigger the optical sensor in there. And so you may want to go into the test mode, dial in all those colors really well, and then dial back the brightness and see if that helps. So
Good advice.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Beasthead, also, please explain an aftermarket coin door operations and setup, please. Thank you, guys. So, as far as coin doors go, I mean, there's not a whole lot to them. Typically, a coin door only has 2 coin switches on it, and maybe like a coin counter and a light. I mean, there's just not that much to it. And so it's just a matter of wiring those up to the correct spot on the JAMA harness.
The hardest part with the aftermarket one is making sure it fits.
Yes.
If that's a big deal, or you just replace the whole thing, which can, more or less, are you talking about like a aftermarket for a classic game like Defender or something? Or is this like a Lethal Enforcers where it's more generic from the get-go? The reprints, reproduction doors for like a Midway or something are pretty good. They should be fine. But the other ones, you're just going to have to make sure that it's the same size. And it's really hard to measure those. If you'll go to HAP Controls, go to their website and look at their coin doors, they give really detailed measurements and tell you how to measure it.
For sure. So make sure that you get the right one for your cabinet, that it does fit your cabinet size. But once it's in there, like Tim mentioned, it's really, you got 2 wires going to each coin light. You got a ground and the voltage wires. And then with the coin switches, you have a ground and the coin switch from the harness. And so that's really all the wiring there is. You may have a coin counter, but if it's an aftermarket, I think that they're not putting coin counters on them too much anymore. So you probably don't have to worry about that. Coin counter is just a little counter that as it triggers the coin switch, it just counts up how many coins have been put through. But I don't think we're going to have too many of those. So it's a pretty simple process as far as wiring it up. But like Tim mentioned, you want to make sure that you get one that fits your cabinet. That's important. So.
Yep.
Okay. Joysticks Arcade did say that the monitor is clean and it's in a pitch black room. I think dialing down the brightness and turning up the colors may help.
Yeah, go into that test mode. Jonathan, was a good idea. Going in there and really getting it dialed into what the game wants from you.
For sure. So, okay. I think we're all cut up on the live chat, Tim.
Okay.
Let us move to our next question from Erik. And Erik writes, Tim, I have a CRT from an original Mortal Kombat cabinet. Never been replaced, but we did a cap kit on it and also replaced the flywheel. The screen is still dark and zooms in and zooms in and out at times and not the best quality. Do you recommend anything to check, replace? Thanks. Now, Tim, this is where the title for tonight's episode comes from. A dark and zooming flywheel.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what this is. It's Erik's question tonight. So, Tim, Erik has a Mortal Kombat cabinet. Now, they have done a cap kit on it and replaced the flywheel.
Okay.
Okay, but I think he means Flyback.
I think so.
Okay, so he's replaced the Flyback. And so, but he's still getting a lot of darkness, and he's getting this kind of pulsing, it sounds like, in and out. So whenever I hear the in and out, that sounds more like a pulsing than like a zooming. But he doesn't give us a picture or anything. I did write Erik back and said, like, I think you mean Flyback, and can you send us a video of the zooming and the pulsing and a picture of your monitor chassis? Erik did not write back yet.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and cover his question here anyway, and I kind of told him we'd be doing that tonight. And so, Tim, we're just going to work off what Erik has already given us. And Erik, if you're watching this after the fact or are listening, please hit us back with like maybe pictures of what the chassis looks like so we can help you identify it. And what the zooming that you're talking about looks like, as well as the dark picture. And so, but Tim, given what Erik has already given us, what can Erik do in order to get the monitor a little bit brighter and maybe get that zooming effect to go away?
Well, you have to adjust that Flyback just because it's new. It has to. There's two knobs on it. One's for brightness and one's like a focus. You need to make sure not only you're adjusting the brightness there, but also your contrast and your brightness on your chassis control. So it's kind of a trick to kind of get both of those to the right level.
Balance, right?
Yeah, balance. Now, if they are fine and you can't get it any more than that, and you've already done a cap kit, probably the next place to be would be those the high voltage section, and you got those poly caps in the hot and stuff. Maybe that could be causing an issue. Or
polypropylene.
Yeah,
I know you always have a hard time saying.
I have a hard time saying that word.
Polypropylene.
Paul Mike could Mike could answer this better than us because it sounds like you're on the right path. But if you replace a Flyback and you're still getting those issues, then I would still check your soldering and everything and see what's going on. It may be time to send them in to somebody like him that could look at that on a more professional level, in my opinion.
A lot of times when we have pulsing, Tim, I feel like it is a high voltage section issue, but we've also seen that caused by bad grounding. Like if you don't have your chassis properly grounded, that can cause like kind of some pulsing kind of issues.
Yeah, look for traces that could have picked up, a lot of things like that.
Yeah, and make sure that the ground wire on the inputs, make sure that pin is soldered real good to the board and that's making a good connection to the board. And also make sure that you have your chassis grounded to the frame as well. That's really important. You want that additional ground a lot of times just in case, you get some voltage leak or something like that. You want to make sure you're protected. And so, Tim, anything else for Erik here before I show the outline? Let me go ahead and throw it up here then. Do you mean flywheel or flyback? We usually use the term flyback for the part that has the anode cup that attaches to the tube. We're going to assume that you replace the flyback. On the dark picture, make sure you're adjusting the brightness on both the main chassis and the flyback. Like Tim mentioned, you put a new flyback in, but did you adjust the brightness on the new flyback? That's a really great question. And like we talked about earlier with Joystick's arcade question, make sure you clean the tube as well. Now, the zooming in and out sounds like you may be getting a little bit of pulsing like we mentioned. So check the input wires and pins, make sure that those are making good connections, and check the high voltage section of the monitor, specifically the hot and the poly caps. Now, the hot, Tim, a lot of times is attached to like a little, like a metal little, what do you call it?
A heat sink.
Heat sink that's on it. And so make sure that hot is connected well to that heat sink because that can cause some little issues like pulsing. And then check the polypropylene caps as well, Tim. They look like chiclets, I think is what you always say, like the little gum. If you've never had chiclet gum before, then I don't know how your childhood was, but mine was pretty great. But they look like chiclet gum pieces, and they're usually brownish. And so sometimes when we have like pulsing or horizontal, it could be that those caps are starting to go bad. So make sure that you either touch up the solder or replace those polypropylene caps. Check your hot, make sure that that's working well. And if you need more specific information or instruction, let us know your make and model and we'll help you out further. Like I said, Tim, I wrote back to Erik, but we have yet to hear back from him. That was on the 13th of December. So, I mean, people get busy this time of year. Totally get it. So, I mean,
spam folder or something.
Exactly. So, we did write back to you, Erik. I promise. Check your spam folder if you didn't get it from us. I wrote back to him twice now because I told him we would be covering it tonight. But go ahead and write us back with some more information. If you want additional help, we'd be happy to help you going forward. So, okay, Tim, live chat's still caught up. So, we are moving on to our next question from Kevin. And Kevin writes, Tim, hi, I got an arcade game from my local game station. Can it be repaired? Now, Tim, he sent a video in his defense, and I just took a still from the video. But basically, the video just looks all pixelated like this with the colors changing. Okay, so the picture looks very pixelated like this, and the colors do change, but that's about it. So, Tim, we don't have a whole lot to go on with Kevin's question, but I thought we may have at least enough to give him a good starting point on his repair. So, Tim, we have an arcade game that's got kind of a pixelated picture, random color patterns in that pixelation. So, let's start off with this. What do you think? Do you think it's a monitor issue?
No.
Okay.
And so he asked, could it be repaired? Well, everything can be repaired.
Sure.
It's just the amount of money or cost. And we don't know what kind of game it is, too. But I would assume by looking at that, it's probably a board issue.
Yeah.
And so you're going to need to get your repair or get your board repaired. Your main motherboard is probably where, or one of the chips or something on is what's causing this problem. But again, it would help if we knew what kind of game. And sometimes it's cheaper to buy another board than it is that's working than it is to get one repaired. So,
just depends on the board. Now,
and the availability.
Before we ever start to suspect the board, we always
check the power.
Always want to check the power. That's right. So you want to make sure that the voltage getting to the board is good, because a board will malfunction if the voltage getting to it is not correct. So you want to make sure that you use a multimeter, check that voltage on the power supply, check it at the power supply, check it at the board, make sure everything is good there. And then once you confirm that the voltage is good, if the pixelation just doesn't go away and it's doing the same thing, yeah, you're probably having some sort of board issue. Now, Tim, some boards have a really good self-test mode that will tell you, like, oh, this ROM chip, this RAM chip, blah, 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 is bad. And so you may be able to do some of that. But if not, you may just have to ship it off for repair, or like Tim mentioned, get a whole new board. Tim, anything else for Kevin here?
Kevin, write us back and let us know what game it is. We may be able to help you a little further with that. Easier.
Sounds good. Paul on the last one says check the voltage regulator for pulsing.
Okay.
The voltage regulator is another part to check. That was on the previous question from
Thank you, Paul.
Erik there too. So Erik, just another thing to check if you're still watching this, that you may want to check the voltage regulator as well. But Tim, let's address Kevin's question real quick. So the random pattern of pixels that you are getting on the screen seems to indicate that you may have a game board issue. Start off the repair by making sure that the power going to the game board is good. Use your multimeter to check the voltage at the power supply and on the game board itself. Also, check for any broken, loose connections as well. That's always a good thing to check anytime you're in the cabinet. Just see if you've got any of that, because you may have something broken in there that could be causing some issues. Now, if the voltage is good, you might try some of the tips that we discussed in our post and video on inspecting an arcade cabinet. And again, some boards have a really good self-test that will tell you whether or not the RAM chips, ROM chips test good or bad. And so you may, if your game does have that, you can do that. And you can usually find that in the manual for the game and go through it and see if it has a troubleshooting section. If it has that, try those steps as well. And that should get you at least off to a good start with your game. Of course, if you let us know what game you're troubleshooting, we can help you out a little further. Tim, anything else for Kevin before we move on?
I don't know. Good luck, Kevin. Keep in touch with us.
Sounds good. So Kevin hopefully answers your question, or at least gives you a good starting point. And if you do need additional help, just get back to us with the game that you're actually trying to troubleshoot here, and we can help you out a little bit better. So. Okay, Tim, it looks like the live chat's kind of at a standstill right now, so we're going to go to our last question for this evening. And this one's from Animos Games 4539. This is a YouTube question, Tim.
Okay.
Animos Games 4539 writes, thank you so much. I have watched many videos on adjusting monitors, but yours is clear and very useful for adjusting focus and brightness. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Right?
You're welcome.
There you go. I just have one question. Can a degausser be installed if the chassis doesn't have one?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. Okay.
That's easy.
Okay,
yeah.
We're done. That's it. Yes, it can. Okay, we're moving on. No, Tim, give us a little bit more about how we would be able to rig all this up if we wanted to do that.
Well, you could make up you could get one off of another monitor.
Sure.
And put it on there. They just kind of sit up there, and they're attached usually with a little bit of adhesive or solder or something. But you could also make one, and I'll just let you go into the screen, John. We'll talk about how to make one.
Well, and here's the thing I want to get to, Tim, is like, how useful is the degaussing coil that goes around a monitor?
On a really old game, could be very useful.
Sure.
Most newer style games, not useful at all.
Right.
So, and it depends on the game. Like how close the monitor are to the speakers and things that could cause interference that you're getting, or your game room.
Yeah.
And where you're at, and what kind of flooring you have. All those things make into account. But the truth is, you can make and can install one, and I have done that to help.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the slide up here, Tim. We can discuss a little bit more after we read this. But yes, you can rig up your own onboard degaussing coil around the tube if you wish. The chassis usually sends a momentary pulse of main AC voltage through the coil at startup. You could wrap a coil around your tube, and if your chassis has the little place to plug it in, you could do that. Or you could rig up your own momentary switch to mimic the same thing, where you just hit the button and boom, it does it, right? So keep in mind that this coil is really for clearing up small areas on the tube, though. With that said, you might not need a degaussing coil around your tube if you have a handheld degaussing coil, Tim.
Right.
Most games will not have any degaussing issues once they have been permanently positioned and degaussed with a handheld coil. So like once you put the game where you want it, and then you notice the degaussing issues, if you take the degaussing coil and use it at that point, a lot of times you may not have any other degaussing issues ever. Right? Once you move the game, you might, because moving the game is really what causes those magnetic fields to wreak havoc on the shadow mask that causes all the weird colors that you get. But if you put a game where you want it to go and then use the degaussing coil on it, very rarely will you have to use it again a lot of times, right?
Right.
Only if you move the game. And Tim, Bob Roberts has a fantastic article on degaussing.
Yes.
That you should read on therealbobroberts.net. Talks all about this subject, talks about these coils, and he will tell you that you still need a handheld degaussing coil. And I know people, Tim, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. I know a lot of people like to use a drill, but you know what Bob Roberts says about the drill.
No,
just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You wouldn't. What is it? You wouldn't use a. He has some sort of a simile in there, like using the wrong tool for something else. Okay. Just. The drill is, I guess that's all you have, but the problem with the drill, Tim, is that could lead to more magnetism in your shadow mask, which could lead to worse problems if you're not careful.
I agree.
A drill is not necessarily, it's not made to be a degaussing coil, right? A degaussing coil is made to be a degaussing coil. And so be very careful when you're using the drill. It is not the right tool for the job when you're doing degaussing. Get you either the coil like we have, Tim, or the handheld one, something like this. Get you something like that. That's going to be better for degaussing. Tim, do you have anything you want to chime in with on the degaussing subject in general?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just if you're not sure what we're talking about, do a little research on it. Go that Bob Roberts. It is kind of neat, and degaussing coils
we have a video on it.
We do.
Yeah, you can see Tim use one.
Degaussing coils are kind of fun to play with.
Yeah, using a degaussing coil, I believe, is the video. So if you want to watch that, and Tim does his best to do the. And so you kind of want to go in this cone where you go from the middle, and then make
bigger circles.
Slightly bigger circles as you move backwards on it, and then you just repeat that over and over again until all the magnetism out of the shadow mask.
If you've never done it before, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, you may not need the momentary coil that goes around the tube if you have a nice degaussing coil that you can use, handheld one that you can use to get that out of there. And so, Alan says, I had to degauss my Mach 3 after I bought it over 20 years ago with an external coil. Never had to use it again. This is usually what happens.
Right.
Every so often you may have, you do it one time, maybe another time, but usually once you set a game where it goes and you degauss it, a lot of times it'll be good for a long time. So but when you move games, that's when the magnetic fields start wreaking havoc on shadow mask, and then all of a sudden you're ending up with all these weird colors and everything like this. So again, you may not need to rig one up. If you really want to, yes, you can do it, but it may just be better to go ahead and spend some money on a nice degaussing coil, handheld model, so you can just do that whenever you need to. Tim, anything else for Animus Games 4539 here?
Fun to play with.
Absolutely. Joystick says, are the decaling ones any good, or do you need the circle? I think he's saying, are the wands are the wands any good, or do you need like the circle?
I just have always used the circle kind.
Yeah,
that's what I'm used to. I don't know much about the others.
The wands seem to work okay from what I've seen. I don't think they're the ones I've seen seem weaker than like the coils that we've used, Tim. So I mean, as long as it works for you, I mean, if you can notice demagnetizing happening when you're using the little wands and things, or whatever you're using, then you're probably in good shape. So let's see. But anyway, yeah. So you don't have to have the circle one necessarily. The one may be just as good. That's the point. So, well, I think that'll do it for Animus Games 4539 here, Tim. Hopefully answers your question. And good luck installing a degaussing coil on your monitor or getting a handheld degaussing coil. Maybe try that out as well and see how it works for you. Okay, Tim. New segment. Okay, so Tim, I had this segment idea Epiphany? The other night. Yeah, Epiphany, like literally 3 nights ago.
Okay.
And it's inspired by something that Tim likes to say, and you've probably heard Tim say it before. He says something like, I can't always tell you what to do,
but I can definitely tell you what not to do.
And so tonight we are doing a segment called What Not to Do.
Okay.
So what I will do is I have 10 scenarios here, and I'm going to read the first part of the scenario, and then Tim will tell us what not to do. Now, Tim, just to get you prepared, I've got 5 that are arcade related and 5 that are just life related.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 that are arcade related, and I'm going to mix them. So one arcade related one just general everyday one. And so I'm going to read the scenario, and Tim is going to tell us what not to do. Right?
Okay.
So
this should be easy
from Tim's experience, right? His vast experience with arcade games and just life in general.
Okay.
And so there we go. So Tim, are you ready to do what not to do?
Okay. This is what not to do.
This is the segment, what not to do. So, Tim, first scenario.
Okay.
First scenario. Okay. When I find a blown fuse in my arcade cabinet. Okay, now I'm gonna read again. Tim, I'm gonna give Tim here a minute to think. When I find a blown fuse in my arcade cabinet, Tim, tell us what not to do.
Don't replace it with a nail or chewing gum wrapper.
Okay, I think that's really good advice. Now, Tim, how do you know this? Maybe is the question. Have we had some experience with this?
I've had to repair some. That's what they did.
Okay, so there we go. So again, when you find a blown fuse in an arcade, or when you find a blown fuse in an arcade cabinet, do not replace it with a nail or chewing gum wrapper. I think that's good advice. Pretty good, pretty good. I like this so far. Okay. Let me give you my next one. Now, this next one is not arcade related, but I think this is something. I think this is something that everybody probably has experienced, or if they don't, if they're married at least, because this has to do with your significant other. When your significant other asks you if their butt looks big. Okay, so when your significant other asks you if their butt looks big, Tim, tell me what not to do. What do you not do?
Don't be honest and say it's huge, maybe the biggest one I've ever seen.
Okay.
Don't be honest. Don't say that.
Honest.
I do not know that from experience. Just preface that.
Okay.
Preface that, but I do not know that from any experience.
Okay.
Maybe an ex-girlfriend a long time ago.
Okay, there we go.
In the 80s.
Okay, so to go over that, when your your significant other asks you if their butt looks big, don't be honest.
Don't be honest.
Okay.
It looks perfect the way it is.
I like this. Okay. So that is what not to do. I love this, Tim. Let's move back to an arcade-related one, though. Okay. When you hear a squeaking noise coming from your monitor chassis, Tim, tell me what not to do. So I hear a squeaking noise coming from my monitor chassis. A lot of you guys have probably heard this before. It's common. So, Tim, what should I not do?
Don't spray it with WD-40.
Oh my goodness. Now, Tim, have you done this one before?
I may have been guilty many years ago.
Well, I hear a squeak. I just WD-40, right?
It's not going to work.
Okay.
It's not good.
So when you hear a squeaking noise coming from your monitor chassis, you absolutely should not spray it with WD-40.
No.
Okay.
It's a good cleaner. We'll clean it, but not while the chassis is on. No.
Gotcha. Okay, there we go.
We'll not get rid of chassis squeaks.
Okay. Well, Tim, I'm going to shift again. And I don't know why I like the significant other topic. Okay. And so this one is when your significant other asks if you are listening. This happens with me and my wife. My wife will say, "Are you listening?" Okay. So when you're with your significant other and they ask you if you were listening. Now, Tim, obviously we have a game on tonight. So this could be a scenario that happens tonight. Please give everybody out there what they should not do in this particular scenario.
Don't say, something about your feelings and you wanted another score to the game.
Okay, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Okay. Do not say, oh, you're saying something about your feelings and you want to know the score of the game. Okay, I understand that. I think that would get me in trouble as well. Let's see, Alan says, my wife dressed as a cow for Halloween. She asked me how she looked. I said nothing.
Yeah.
You're very smart.
Alan.
Very smart, Alan. You're very smart for sure.
Zip it.
So, yeah, exactly. Zip it. In this particular case, Tim, I think zipping it would be better than saying, you're talking about your feelings and you just want to know the score of the game.
Yeah, the sexiest cow I've ever seen.
Oh, there's a good answer. There we go. So that's what to do, Tim.
Right.
This is what not to do.
Okay.
Exactly. So there we go. Let's move back to arcade-related ones, though, Tim. Let's see. If you say that this repair will only take 5 minutes, Tim, what should I not do?
Don't look at the clock after that.
Okay, just don't look at the clock. I understand.
Nothing takes 5 minutes.
Nothing takes 5. It always takes longer than 5 minutes, right? It doesn't matter what
looking at the clock.
Yes.
Work on the progress, not the process.
There you go. So there you go. So if you say that this repair will only take 5 minutes, just stop looking at the clock altogether. I think that's actually good advice, Tim, for sure.
Yeah, don't look at it.
So, okay, there we go. Moving back into just everyday life, Tim. If I'm late to work, what should I not say to my boss?
Don't say I felt like sleeping in.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go over well with my boss either. I understand that, so for sure. So if you're late to work, don't tell your boss that you just felt like sleeping in. I get that. I like that one. Tim, going back to arcades. If you find a loose wire in an arcade cabinet, okay, so I'm working in a cabinet and I find a loose wire, Tim, what should I not do with that?
Don't just guess where you think it goes.
Okay,
Look it up.
Okay, don't guess.
Don't guess.
Okay, I understand that. So, Tim, any scenarios where you guessed?
I have thought it looked like it went somewhere where it didn't actually go, and it can throw quite a light show for you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and even might give you a shock.
Maybe so.
Right? Something like that. Okay. Tim, let's go back to just everyday life stuff. If my smoke alarm is beeping, Tim, what should I not do? So if my smoke alarm is beeping, what should I not do?
Don't just take the batteries out and say, now it's fixed.
Okay. That's pretty good. I will give you credit on that one. I think that one's pretty good. You know, I think a lot of people do that, though, Tim.
I think so.
You know, it's just like, especially if it's in the middle of the night. You ever had that 3 a.m. wake-up call from the smoke alarm?
I know people that have taken out the light on their check engine light just so they have to look at it. Okay,
that's awesome.
So taking out the light bulb
doesn't call it not fixed, right? Not fixed. So if your smoke alarm is beeping, don't just remove the batteries and call it fixed for sure.
Right.
I get that.
Change the batteries, fix it, throw it in the trash and get another one, but don't just change. Don't take out the batteries.
Okay, Tim, I got 2 more for you. 2 more. One arcade related, one not, about what not to do. Okay, so here's the first one. This one's arcade related. Tim, if my joystick feels loose, tell me what not to do.
Don't wrap it in duct tape or any kind of electrical tape and think that's going to help.
Okay. So what happens if I do that?
Well,
you'll find out.
It may work, but trying to fix that repair, the one that we had one time like that, was crazy. Yeah, don't do that. Just replace the joystick.
Yeah, so if your joystick feels loose, just don't wrap it with electrical tape or duct tape. Just don't do it, right? Don't do it. There you go. And Tim, the last one, and this one is not arcade related, but I just, added it on here because it's a scenario that comes up from time to time. If someone asks if there's a doctor in the house, Tim, tell me what I should not do.
Don't Google the symptoms and act like you are one and raise your hand.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, anytime you quit Googling symptoms, trust your doctor. Everything causes cancer. You'll think you're going to die. Just don't Google symptoms and think you're a doctor.
There you go.
Or try to tell somebody what they need to do.
There you go, Tim. I think that's solid advice. Everybody give Tim a round of applause for this segment. What not to do. Tim, I think you did fantastic. So thank you, sir. And
I told you I was an expert at what not to do.
Yeah, so Tim can always answer your questions on what not to do. If you would like a what not to do answer, please send your question to questions at arcaderepairtips.com. And Tim would be happy to tell you what not to do. So there you go.
All right.
Did that work?
Having some fun. I don't know.
I don't know. I was about to say, I don't know if it was funny at all. We got some response. I don't know.
We laughed.
There you go. Let's see what we got here. Beasthead says, is there a secret to applying side art, Tim? Tell us what to do.
Okay, you want to know what to do?
Yes,
okay.
what to do.
Yeah, we shot a video on it, and a friend of ours, Mike, just did a Donkey Kong. He said it worked really good, where we use a Windex method and a squeegee. And if you'll go watch our video on that, what not to do is just stick it on there and hope the bubbles will come out, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to. You use the Windex, and that allows you to move the side art, get it where you want it, and then work out those little bubbles and stuff and everything. But by all means, watch our video. We did shoot a video on it.
Actually, it was on the Galaga cabinet.
That will help you.
Still
on there.
Right. Well, yeah, the Galaga cabinet, that's the one that Mike bought. It's still on there. So people have criticized that video saying that the Windex breaks down the adhesive. If that's the case, guys, that side art has been on there for 15 years. I mean, it would have broken down by now. But if you are worried about that,
use soapy water.
Use soapy water, and that's fine. But the Windex we've never had a problem with the Windex.
Nope.
So
plenty, hundreds of things at Chuck E. Cheese like that replace
the Mortal Kombat over there. We did the same method on. It's still sticking, and that was 20 years ago, probably.
Yep.
We have all sorts of games we put side on that way. Never had a problem. So Windex is fine. Soapy water is fine.
If your surface is clean.
Yeah, that's the key. So current photograph. I'm thinking about buying a Sammy Deer Hunter and placing on route. Does this game make quarters, Tim?
Yeah, but I would attach a tether from the gun to the cabinet so that it can't hit the ground. Like they can still play it, but if it drops, it won't hit the ground. It can make good money. Make sure that it's a location that can be watched. People tend to just break them and do stuff, and then the guns are real. Then you lost all your profit. I would highly recommend. It had to be a good location where somebody could watch them, and that you felt like your client or your clientele was a little better than a bunch of little kids or something. Yeah. Sword fighting with your guns.
For sure. Those guns are. I mean, they're.
But I would definitely tether them to the side of the machine or somewhere so that they couldn't hit the ground. That's what seemed to do the most damage.
Yeah, those guns. How much are those, Tim? They $200 a piece.
Easily.
Yeah,
maybe
plus
$250 or $300 by now. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's pretty expensive. You don't want that gun into your profit.
And have all your gun parts so you can just rebuild them. You can buy all the plastic pieces and do it yourself. HAP sells all that stuff.
Sounds good. Alan says smoke alarms are one of the few things that still use 9-volt batteries. That's true.
That's true.
You know what else? I have microphones, Tim, that still use 9-volt batteries.
Wow, that's...
like wireless mics still use 9-volt batteries. I have 9-volt batteries because of that.
I was thinking of something we got over Christmas. I was like, it takes a 9-volt battery? Really? I can't remember what it was now. But we had to go and buy... Oh, it was like a stud finder.
Oh, yeah. Those 9-volt batteries very common in those stud finders.
We're trying to find a stud. I got my son one for Christmas, and he needed it didn't come with a battery, of course. I had to buy a 9-volt battery for it.
There you go. Alan says, I use Windex and never had any issues. Still looks great. Windex is fine. So those people who were saying it breaks down the adhesive, if that's the case, we would have broken down adhesive on a lot of side art.
Sure, seems to be working fine for me.
Yeah, exactly. Never had any problems. So again, and Windex is already pre-mixed, which is nice. If you do the soapy water, you have to kind of mix it yourself. So
right.
Anyway. Okay, Tim, I think we're caught up. Let's go ahead and go to the news and discussion for this month, Tim.
Okay.
There's quite a bit of it. Now, Tim, we had probably one of our biggest stories we've ever had on our Facebook page this month, and we will get to that at the very end of the news and discussion. But let's start off with
this was pretty big news right here.
Yeah, the news about Arcade 1-Up. So we start hearing all these rumors, Tim, that Arcade 1-Up may be shutting down. Remember this? And about a week later, Tim, Arcade 1-Up posts this little news that Arcade 1-Up confirms that Basic Fun has acquired select assets of the home arcade company, and so we still don't know exactly what this means.
They didn't tell us what that meant. It sounded like they're being partially bought.
Exactly. So days after rumors circulated that home arcade machine maker Arcade 1-Up would be shutting down, the company shared a statement saying that select assets have been acquired by toy company Basic Fun. Although Arcade 1-Up isn't dead, what's next for the brand is still a little murky. Arcade 1-Up has still not confirmed whether it has laid off staff, stopped sales, or ended production, and a spokesperson said there was no further info to share. So, Tim, this is really crazy. I hope that those of you guys who bought one over the holidays or got one for Christmas can still get support for it.
Right.
Because that's really the biggest thing, Tim. I hope that they continue to support. I know that recently people who have reached out to Arcade 1-Up support have been having a hard time getting parts. And basically, Arcade 1-Up support's telling them we're not going to stock the parts, and there's no intention to ever stock the parts again.
Wow.
And so if that's the case, we may be seeing the end of we might be seeing the end of Arcade 1-Up boards and things at least. There was a time they were really good about sending that stuff out, and so I don't know, maybe all that's going away now that Basic Fun has acquired select assets of Arcade 1-Up. I don't know.
Somebody should go in to buy it and just buy parts, sell parts for them.
Yeah. Tim, you think about Arcade 1-Up really came at the right time, kind of during COVID when everybody was at home and it was a good thing to have. And Tim, it seems like now that people are out doing things again, I don't know if the home arcade market is as big as it once was.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. So I hope that we always have a maker that's able to do this and be profitable, whether that's Basic Fun, Arcade 1-Up, whoever it is. I hope that there's always at least one company out there making these home arcade units. But this is not great news as far as that is concerned. So we will just hope for the best and see if we can continue to see the home arcade market grow. I know a lot of purists, Tim, in the arcade space are not big fans of like Arcade 1-Up. But
some
guys,
people are celebrating it.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, I mean, the thing is that they make games more popular, and there's a lot of people who have games that wouldn't otherwise have games in their house because of Arcade 1-Up, and so you can't. I don't think
definitely drove up the price of real classic collectors.
Yeah, but also allowed some games that wouldn't have been accessible to get a full cabinet of to make it more accessible, like that. Right. Whether that's the Dragon's Lair Arcade 1-Up or the Tron
Star
Arcade
Wars.
1-Up, Star Wars Arcade 1-Up. And so, I mean, in some ways, they were able to get the prices down, the Tron, like we were talking about. So, I don't hope this is not the end for Arcade 1-Up, and I hope that if it is, I hope Basic Fun is able to kind of take over that mantle and continue with it. But it is kind of a sad day for me, Tim. Again, we don't know exactly what all the details are, but, as somebody who still has Arcade 1-Ups in his house, I would like to see them continue on and do more and make more products. So we'll just see. We'll keep you posted. Keep on our Facebook page, our X feeds, and we'll post any news related to that as we come upon it. Now, Tim, this article got a couple of responses, and I found it kind of interesting. It's from TechBullion, Tim, and the title of the article was "Arcade Machines Around the World: A Technical and Cultural Decline." So the article went on to say that arcade machines are facing a global decline as operators struggle with technical challenges of maintaining aging components, proprietary hardware, and hard-to-find CRT displays. These issues, combined with rising costs and reduced foot traffic, are pushing many classic arcades out of public spaces. As a result, the cultural hub that was once celebrated arcade and coin-op gaming is slowly fading from cities around the world. Now, Tim, this is mainly talking about, I think retro arcades.
Yeah.
You got to remember,
I
was about to say, I think redemption-style arcades are alive and well. Okay, I mean, because you see... you think about all the redemption places that you have, and even we have one here. They're quite a bit. But as far as retro arcades are concerned, Tim, I think that a lot of these issues are valid. I mean, aging components is true. We did a story last month about an arcade that got some of their stuff stolen, and they were saying how priceless the game boards were.
Right.
They are priceless. You can't get them anymore, and nobody's manufacturing them. So once they're gone, they're gone.
Paul and I were talking about the prices of Flybacks and stuff, how expensive they've gotten.
Yeah, because they're not making CRTs anymore, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's like demand for those things has just dropped to nothing, and so they're not manufacturing as much. It's a supply and demand, Tim. When there's not as much supply or demand for it, the supply goes down, price goes up, right? And so we see that as well. I do think when it comes to retro arcades that this article is pretty accurate. But if you're talking about arcades in general, I still feel like there's a pretty good market for arcades, even if those arcades are mostly redemption pieces.
Probably
if that makes sense. So, Tim, if you were making an arcade right now, I mean, what would you fill it with? What would be the games that you'd want to fill it with? I mean,
I would have some newer pinballs, and there's plenty of games that kids like. They're quick plays, coin ups, and then you got to have food or something else, bowling or something else to get them in. You can't survive alone, I don't think.
So do you think that arcades should go with more like the movie theater model, where it's like we're not making money on the movies, but we're making money on the food and the beverages?
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way it has to go. It's hard to make money on the games. Because to be realistic, if you're going to make money on classic retro games, you'd probably have to charge $1 per play, and nobody's gonna
play that.
Exactly, nobody's gonna pay that to play. So, I think the biggest thing, because you got to remember, it does still cost money to maintain games, and it is more expensive than it used to be to maintain games as well. And so I think with those things in mind, Tim, like you said, quick play games are very important. Stuff that, gets real quick play, one shot. We think about things like Cyclone, Paw Patrol, stuff like that. Pushers, coin pushers, stuff like that. But those are mostly redemption pieces, unfortunately.
Mostly so.
But that's kind of how it goes. So I do think there is some accuracy to this.
Crane machines.
Yes, and crane machines. There is some accuracy to this if you're talking about retro arcades. But I mean, as far as arcades as a whole, I think there will always be arcades in some form or fashion, even if those arcades, Tim, are just mostly redemption pieces.
Agree.
Okay, going to the next article here, Tim.
In the chat.
I can go over here real quick. CF on 2 Ohm says, "Hello, all. Jumped in. Glad I bought an arcade and 1-up when I did." Yes, absolutely. I think that most of us who have arcade 1-ups now are glad we bought them when we did, because
if they stay working.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they stay working. But yeah, I think, Tim, I would be surprised if we're fielding questions for arcade 1-up cabinets at some point.
We have taken one.
We have taken some, yeah. But I mean, we may see more if you can't get the boards.
Maybe so.
That may be what we end up going to. Who knows? Geeklight08's here. Tim, he says, "Greetings all. Happy New Year." And he was talking about the barcade model. Yeah, the barcade model I think can still work, but you got to make sure that you're making your money off your food and off of the alcohol. Right. That's really where it comes down to. So, Tim, this next article is, I don't know. I'll see what you think about the headline. I always wanted a full-size arcade machine, but this is even better.
Okay. Well, what's better?
In this article, and this is from Stuff Magazine, Tim, the author always dreamed of owning a full-size arcade machine, but found that modern home arcade setups are even better for everyday play thanks to their compact, stylish, and versatile form factors. These newer systems deliver authentic arcade controls and experiences without taking up the entire room. For anyone craving retro vibes with modern convenience, they are a winning upgrade. Now, Tim, you see this bubble bobble here, little mini desktop cabinets. And so what he's saying is that the desktop little cabinets that you get are better than the full-size cabinets because the room doesn't take up as much room, still gives you the arcade feel. Tim, how do you feel about that?
He's an idiot.
Okay, well, thank you.
Sorry. No, I think that he probably, there's something about even dropping a coin in one, and stuff, the retro feel, the game cabinet and stuff. I know what he's saying, and if it's something you can't afford, like a Quantum or something, I get it. But at the same time, if you can turn a screwdriver and do a few little basic electronics, you can fix a lot of games and have them in your own house and enjoy them anytime you want.
Well, and here's the thing too, Tim. A lot of people don't live in houses; they may only have an apartment.
Yeah,
as we know, houses
could be an issue.
Houses are expensive, Tim, and so if you can't afford a house, okay, look, if you're a bachelor and you have a 2-bedroom apartment,
you got plenty of room.
Yeah, plenty of room. I was about to say,
you got a kitchen. You can put one laundry room. Game, get a stackable washer and dryer.
You found arcade games. Remember that one house you said you went to? And
every room of that house had games in it. It was crazy.
So, I mean,
some of them were like, you got any other games? They took off the coffee table and there was a cocktail. There's another game. Okay.
There you go. So, you got room to put games. You may not think you do, but you got room to put at least one, maybe two. So, but we do understand, if you're on the second story of an apartment, getting an arcade up that is going to be, going upstairs with any kind of arcade is just not a fun experience at all. Having done it multiple times now, I'd rather not do it ever again. And so, telling him, moving them now, just moving them. Golly. So, but I understand that, but, I don't think anything will ever give you the same feel as a full-size cabinet. I like arcade 1-ups, Tim. They are not
the same.
They are not the same.
Wrong group.
Exactly. So, for sure. Geeklight says, tabletops like that are good for video poker, but not arcade games, is what it says. So, there you go. Yeah, I think so. Video poker, I could see. Tim, they had some tabletop games like that. There's a Play Choice 10 cabinet. That was a 2-player that was a tabletop like that. Remember that?
Right.
So they've made some tabletop arcade games. But you know what that had on it? It had a coin slot.
It did.
Coin slot makes a difference. Feeling that coin fall through and everything like that. Man, it makes all the difference in the world. So, okay, Tim, 2 more stories here. Let's get this one real quick. Did you spot this NES-related blunder in Stranger Things Season 5? Tim, have you seen Stranger Things Season 5?
I have not watched, but the part of the first episode. Okay. I haven't really jumped in it yet.
So did you catch the error? A Stranger Things Season 5 scene mistakenly shows the arcade version of Ghosts and Goblins instead of the actual NES release, a detail many retro fans caught. The blunder highlights how passionate fans notice even the tiniest gaming inaccuracies. It's a fun example of how deep gaming culture runs in the series. Now, Tim, you can see that there's an NES clearly hooked to this television, but that is not the NES version of the game. That is the arcade version of the game. So I don't know. He's got like an arcade NES or something like that, Tim, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that's very interesting, Tim, why they would flip
why would they do that?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like more trouble to get that thing to work.
Yeah, exactly. So very interesting. Not exactly sure why they did that, Tim, but I do think it's interesting that they decided to go with the arcade version. So I know the graphics are better, and maybe that's what it is. Guys, NES graphics are still, like, some games still hold up and some do not. So, I mean, I understand that as well. Maybe they just wanted it to be a little clearer on the screen as to what he was playing. But in either case, Tim, definitely not the right version. Does not match. And, Tim, we see this all the time.
Did anybody in the chat room catch that live when you saw that?
Yeah, good question.
Or was it after the fact?
I remember, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think they were playing a Nintendo with Sega Genesis controllers. I remember that. Like, you know, I mean, we get stuff like that all the time, you know. It's like, oh, wait a second, those don't even fit with it, you know. So there's always these kind of gaming blunders whenever you're watching, like, TV shows, movies, see it all the time. So it's not uncommon. And so I'm going to give them a break, Tim. But it's a fun thing to notice, right? Yeah. And maybe that's what, maybe they wanted to throw a little Easter egg in there. Who knew? So now, Tim, this is a story. This is a story that went, like, crazy. I think as of right now, it's got over 120,000 views on our Facebook page.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and tell you what it is. The Chuck's Arcade location in Kansas City has closed permanently, Tim. So we are getting reports that the Chuck's Arcade in Kansas City has been closed after 194 days, Tim.
Wow.
Google now lists the location as permanently closed. People are commenting on the post and seem to think that this is an indication of... And Tim, so what I've done here is I have summarized kind of everybody's thoughts about, 100 and something comments we got on it, kind of their thoughts about why this did not work. So some people were saying people just don't spend money on vintage arcades anymore. Okay. Some people are saying that CEC is just using nostalgia as a money grab and they're trying to take business from local arcade bars and it's not working. And then some people were just saying the physical location of this store was bad and several businesses have struggled there. So it didn't matter what they put there, it was going to struggle. Tim, I mean, the big thing I asked was that, what does this mean for the other Chuck's Arcade stores? Because there's more than one, okay? That's what you should get. This is one that's closed. All the rest of them are still open. Now, Tim, the closing of this is quick. 194 days of open is not a whole lot of time. But this was a Peter Piper's Pizza Express before it was a Chuck's Arcade.
Oh, okay.
And you know, and I know, that Peter Piper's Pizza is owned by...
Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. So was this just trying to... They were just trying to give a new coat of paint
maybe so.
Onto something to see if they could maybe make a profit before they just gave up?
Maybe, and obviously they wouldn't have opened more had some of them not been working.
Right. So,
but that is a very short run, 194 days. Wow.
So do you think this has any kind of effect on the other Chuck's Arcade locations? Do you think that the model isn't working? Like, I mean, I think this was a tough location just based on the people who are in Kansas City. I will say that. But is there anything that you can read into this that would tell you how the other Chuck's Arcade locations are doing?
Well, again, what did I say earlier? There's no food.
Yeah. There's food, but it's not great food.
Right. There's vending machine kind of food. It's not. So, yeah, what else is the draw? And I guess, and the rent in some of these malls has to be crazy high.
Now, they have classic arcade games at all of these locations that we've seen.
A handful.
Have redone classic arcade games. Like, you know, like new versions of Defender with the LCD monitors. I mean, but they usually have about 5 of them or so per store that are, I mean, they are the classic games, but I
definitely would go to one if it was in our mall, but we don't have one anywhere nearby, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this is going to fail? I mean, is this an indication that this is not a great idea?
My guess is that they're not going to be pumping them out very fast. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, but it's not looking good for them.
So, Tim, I'm going to put you in the CEO spot at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, we have these Chuck's Arcade locations. They're not doing so hot. What can we do to fix them?
Why make it a Chuck's Arcade? I would have put some of that stuff into a regular Chuck E.
Okay, instead of opening
mall
arcades. So do you think that the Chuck's Arcade mall arcade model was a mistake?
I think that you already got, like I said, kids go for birthday parties and pizza. While you're there, they could play a few. Why not have some crane machines? Why not have some classic games for the parents to play? I don't know. I don't know that they're going to travel out of their way unless it's their birthday party or something. I don't know. It needs more than what they're offering, which is just some gameplay. You know, I don't know that the current market has a big need for that right now. That's my opinion.
It seems like mall arcades are doing okay, Tim. Now, the one thing we've seen probably the more prevalence of lately has been the crane arcades, Tim. Those seem to be really proliferating kind of all over the United States, I feel like. And so is that really the way we need to go, is more with a self-redemption crane-style arcade? Or do you think like a traditional mall arcade can still make it in America?
It could still make it, but you're just, it's all about the location and depending on which mall.
Okay.
Gotta have the foot traffic.
Gotcha. Any other thoughts about this for me?
No, I don't really. I guess we'll see what happens with the rest of them. How many? I don't even know how many of them total there are.
I don't know either at the moment. I think there's at least 4 that I know of.
Yeah.
So,
I've been to one.
Yeah, and they have like a stuffed animatronic, which is weird too. I always felt like what they call it, the Chucksadermy, like we talked about. And so I thought that was kind of weird too. But like you said, Tim, is it really offering anything? I mean, they give it a cool paint job that's very showbiz-like, which is cool. But is that...
It was a decent idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't pick the right location.
Okay. Couple of thoughts here from the live chat, Tim. Geeklight says, there's one by us. Games are overpriced and no people. Walked in and left. He says it will fail. Let's see... Current Phonograph says, who makes these new games? I'm not sure. Some of these new classics. Tim,
probably Eunice.
Yeah, Eunice is pretty big. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Play Mechanics or somebody like that may do some of these, or Chicago Gaming Company. They're licensed to do a lot of that kind of stuff. Haven't seen the manufacturers on these, so if you see one of these cabinets out, see if you can get a manufacturer off of it. We would be curious to know that as well. Jumbo Generals here says, hey guys, Happy New Year, Tim. So,
10 locations.
10 locations. Okay, there we go. So
probably 9 now.
It says a nostalgic, adult-focused spinoff of Chuck E. Cheese is what it is. So there we go.
Florida, Texas, New Hampshire, Oklahoma,
see, some
Missouri.
have food. Some of the locations have food, but
the one
not all
I went
of them.
to didn't have anything.
Yeah, not all of them do. Some of them have food.
Yeah, cotton candy or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So it just depends on which one you go to. But Tim, you think Chuck E. Cheese should stay in their lane? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. The one I went to, I thought it looked cool, but I didn't spend any money.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing.
Walk down memory lane.
So one thing that we need to point out is that Chuck E. Cheese got a reprieve on their debt until 2030. So basically, they have until 2030 to get profitable and make money. And if they don't, they're going to either need another debt extension, somebody else is going to have to assume a debt, or they're going to have to go under.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to reorganize or something like that. And so, Tim, you got 4 years to turn around Chuck E. Cheese. What do you do is the question. I don't know the answer to that. The CEO said he's not going to stop until... Yeah, the CEO said he's not going to stop until they make a movie. So, Tim, as somebody who is very interested in animatronics and has seen some of the stuff that like Disney and Universal have done,
yes,
why couldn't Chucky have done some of that?
They could have.
That's my thing.
And still could.
Why do people go to Universal and Disney World?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Animatronics.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's what a big reason they love the rides and the whole environment, right? And so, like, why couldn't Chucky do something like kind of like these different? What if we theme the stores with different themes? So, like, we do a Chuck E. Cheese store that's like a safari store. Yeah. And we put safari animatronics in there. Yeah, and then it's all environmental, like when you're in there. And maybe there's like a swinging rope course and there's stuff like this. Or maybe we make one maybe we theme another one around, I don't know, like an ocean theme.
Yeah.
And then we have like animatronic like mermaids and Chucky swimming around and stuff like this.
That'd be great.
Like, what if we go like almost like Rainforest Cafe-esque, but we have different themes at different locations? What if we did something like that? Now, I still think you have to have the games and the food and all that kind of stuff, but what if you also theme the food around that? You know what I'm saying? So like the menu items are all jungle-based or safari-based or water-based or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like if you theme all the food around that, I think that's the way you need to go. You need to create immersive, I'm going to say Instagram-like experiences, if you will.
Right.
And I think that would drive more people to come.
You need to get more people back to your original Chuck E. Cheese instead of trying to open a new store.
Yeah, exactly. So take the stores you have and revamp them. Obviously, ours has gone with the trampolines. How do you feel about the trampolines?
I'm okay. I mean, it's not a huge part. It's little, big enough for the kids to play, but it's okay.
Interactive dance floor, does that do anything for you?
I love it.
You like
I think
it?
it's cool.
Okay, the interactive dance floor is pretty cool.
Because anybody can just go over there and play on it.
Yeah, my kids, when we were at Chuck E., they did it, and they thought it was pretty fun. I don't know if it was something that draws you in, would be my point. So,
now, after going to Dave & Buster's recently, well, I would say within the last 6 months, Chuck E.'s really doesn't seem like that bad a deal anymore. It used to be,
Dave & Buster's is expensive.
when I first went to Chuck E. Cheese, everybody thought it was expensive.
Yeah.
Now it seems pretty reasonable.
Agreed.
For what you get.
Yeah. So I think if you go full-on immersive theme stores and you make
I like when I pay $10, I know how many plays I'm going to get.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That is
Not
nice.
3.8 credits. And
every game's a different credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Chuck E. Cheese, you pay one, everything's a credit, and you have this number of credits. You know exactly how much you're going to do. I do like that, too. So, I don't know, Tim. I feel like the immersion, we need something kind of more immersive. I think if we go that direction, maybe we can be a little bit more. I think, to be honest with you, I'd probably close down some stores and focus on making the stores that we did have more of an immersive experience.
Maybe that's what Chuck's is doing, just closing down an underperformer.
Yeah, but the problem is that, like I said, they opened this Chuck's Arcade. I guess, I don't know. We said it was too little too late. I remember saying that. Is it still too little too late?
I don't know.
Is that why it's not? Is its time already passed?
Yeah, this was 10 year ago idea.
Agreed. So yeah, I think now you need to make something, like I said, it needs to be almost an immersive experience or something like that in order to really be big. Like I said, when you walk in, you've been to Rainforest Cafe. You get like that whole kind of they've got animatronics and stuff, and they're not very sophisticated, but it's an experience while you're eating and everything like that. I think something like kids love it. They love that kind of stuff. I think something like that may be better for them. Tim, I think we're going to wrap it up on that point. So if you guys have any thoughts about Chuck's Arcade, please leave them in the live chat. I'd love to read them. But I'm going to go ahead and go into like our little closing discussion here where we're wrapping everything up. But if there are any thoughts in the meantime, I'll read them here in a bit. So please leave your Chuck's Arcade, Chuck E. Cheese, any thoughts that you have in the live chat. Or if you're watching this after the fact, leave some comments down below and let us know. Why is Chuck's Arcade not doing so hot? Do you think it's going to fail? Do you think it's going to succeed? Or what could Chuck E. Cheese do to possibly improve? Let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So, Tim, let me go ahead and wrap some things up here. We want to remind you guys that we want your arcade-related videos. If you want some free advertising for your YouTube channel, we're always looking for people to submit short videos, about 10 minutes or less, about arcade-related topics. If you send a link to one of your videos to questions@arcaderepairtips.com, our staff will review it, and if we like it, we'll use it during one of our live show episodes. Make sure to put in a plug for your channel so people will know to find you, and we look forward to seeing your submissions. And Tim, we haven't had any takers on this in a while, but if you want to take advantage of it, this is a good time to do that. Tim, we typically will watch your video, and if we like it, we'll play it before a live show episode. And hopefully some of our audience will make their way over to your channel and get you a couple more viewers. And Tim, sometimes people who are on the edge of monetization, they maybe just need a couple more subscriptions, a couple more views. Those are really the people we're trying to target here. We're trying to help you guys get monetized. And so if there's any way we can do that, please let us know. Of course, we do want to only promote people who are arcade related, or if you have an arcade related video on your channel, as we are an arcade repair, show. So makes sense. But anyway, questions@arcaderepairtips.com, guys, if you want to send your videos over that way. And then, Tim, we have our contact information. We have our general email address, which I just said, but I'll say again, questions@arcaderepairtips.com, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. If you put live show in the subject, we will save it specifically for the show, but if not, we will just get around to answering it whenever we get around to answering it. But again, that's the best way to get a hold of us is by sending an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com. We also have our YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. Of course, those of you who are in the live chat and who are watching this live know that. But if you're listening to this on the Question Answer podcast feed, you may want to go check out the video for this episode, which is 107. And if you do, go to youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. You can look it up there. And we do try to cover comments from the last live show on the next episode. So if you do leave any comments here on this episode, guys, we will try to answer them in episode 108. And of course, if you're listening to this on the Question and Answer podcast feed and you want to hear the after show, you will need to look up the YouTube video at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com to view that. We also have our podcast feed, which includes our live shows, interviews, question and answer podcasts when those happen, and other things. You can listen to that on our Spreaker page at spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com, or on Spotify at spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, or on iTunes at itunes.arcaderepairtips.com. And Tim, do you know what all of those pages have in common?
You can leave a review.
Look at this. Tim has been listening to my spiel all this time. I thought that you were actually just over there just hanging out, but you can actually listen. That's very good. So, like Tim mentioned, you can actually leave a review on those pages. So, Spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com, Spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, or iTunes.arcaderepairtips.com. Leave us a review, especially if you like what you hear. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And Tim, I think we're still at like 49 reviews on iTunes.
Oh, come on.
Somebody has to be that 50. Be the 50. You can be the 50. Just leave us a nice 5-star review. Don't even have to write anything. Or just 5 stars, good podcast. That's good. Just do something like that. Love that. We can get above that 50 threshold. That would be really helpful. Again, Spreaker page. Now, if you want to support us on the audio podcast feed, the Spreaker page is the best place to go because we do get additional bonus. We get bonus monetization from people who listen on Spreaker. So Spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com is a great place to listen to us, but you can pretty much listen to us wherever fine podcasts are aggregated. Just make sure you do a search for Arcade Repair Tips, and more than likely, you'll get this feed. And then, Tim, we want to talk about our social media pages. We have our Facebook page at facebook.arcaderepairtips.com. We have our Twitter/X feed at twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. And like I mentioned, Tim, over 100,000 people checked out our post on the Chuck's Arcade closing in Kansas City on our Facebook page. That is amazing. It kind of went somewhat, I guess, viral, I guess you will. But, I didn't see a lot of reporting on that, Tim, and I just thought I would throw that up there, and I'm glad I did, because I'm glad that it drove all the traffic. And if you guys want to chime in on that, I think it has over 120 comments. So you guys can also chime in on the Chuck's Arcade stuff there. But we also post, like, when the next live show is there. We post something every single day, Tim. Every single day we post a story on our Facebook or our Twitter/X feed. So you don't want to miss out on any of that arcade-related content, do you, Tim?
Nope.
That's right. That's why you want to be on our Facebook page or our Twitter/X feed. And again, you don't have to subscribe to both. One or the other will suffice. We post the same thing on both. But again, Facebook.arcaderepairtips.com or Twitter.arcaderepairtips.com for the latest in arcade-related news and fun stuff with Tim and John. So. Okay, Tim. We didn't get any other comments about the Chuck's Arcade over here in the live chat. But Jump in General says he misses his old Aladdin's Castle in North Carolina. I miss Aladdin's Castle, too. It's a great place. Tim, I was thinking about the arcade in the mall here and how it went from Jolly Time to Pocket Change to Cyber Zone. And it was something even before that. I forgot what it was.
It's been through several names.
Yeah, it's been through several. And now it is a bathroom. Where the arcade used to be is literally a bathroom and like a snack store. All that space gone. Man, I like Cyber Zone. Remember Cyber Zone? Yeah. They had the cool little keys that you put in the games. It wasn't even the card. It had like a little chip key. It literally was a chip built into a key.
I remember that.
And it had 2 little contacts on it. You push that thing in and they would give the credits and everything. Fantastic. Miss Cyber Zone. It was awesome. So, but we are getting a Dave & Buster's here pretty soon, Tim. And once we do, me and Tim are going to take a tour and make sure that we're over there. I wonder if they'll let me in early. I'll just say I'm an investor. We'll see if we can get in.
All right.
And all that good stuff. But anyway, hey, you think they're looking for a manager, Tim? Would you ever go back to managing a Dave & Buster's?
Probably not.
Okay, there we go. So, well, guys.
That's for the younger guys.
There you go. Thanks for joining us tonight. It was a great time. Just want to give a huge round of applause to the live chat. You guys were fantastic tonight.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to all you guys. We are so glad that you joined us for this episode, Tim. And we're looking forward to a new year of Arcade Repair Tips. Tim, I don't know how much longer we'll do this, but I can say we're going to do it next month. So, so there we go. You get 1 more month at least. I don't know how much longer. Try to be here for everyone because, Tim, we may wrap it up at some point. I don't know. Me and Tim at the end of last year were kind of talking about that a little bit. So, we're already past 100, and I never thought we'd get that far.
No, I didn't either.
So I mean, it is what it is. We're not going to 200, Tim. I don't think. I could be wrong. But at this point, I think we're going to quit somewhere between 100 and 200. I can tell you that. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for being here. It was a great time. Enjoyed it immensely. Live chat, you were awesome. Tim, anything else you want to say here before we wrap it up?
Just Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for your support, and keep fixing those games.
Absolutely. Now, we do want to remind you guys that if you're watching this live or you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, that we will have the after show here in about 5 minutes or so that takes place directly after this live show. And so if you want to stay tuned for that, you can. It's basically just me and Tim talking about whatever we want to talk about. We'll catch up on what we did over the holidays and do some other things. And all you have to do is just stay tuned right here for about 5 minutes after we sign off. and you can watch that and hang out with us for about another hour at least. So just kind of hang out and do that. But this may be your off ramp. If you want to get off here and not do the after show, that's fine too. We want to thank you guys for being with us. We hope that you have a wonderful 2026. We want nothing but blessings for all you guys out there, your families, your friends. We hope that you have the most fantastic year ever this year. And we want to thank you guys again for being here with us. And remember, here at Arcade Repair Tips, when you fix the game,
you play the game.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next month for February episode, or we'll see you here in about 5 minutes for the after show. Bye, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Arcade Repair Tips live show. All of our past episodes are available on our website at arcaderepairtips.com or on our YouTube page. This show is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult a professional before attempting to repair any coin-operated machines yourself. The preceding program is a Varcade Entertainment production.
And we're back with the after show. Sorry about the little bit longer delay. We were playing Best Guess Live. Tim had not played Best Guess Live. Have you played Best Guess Live? Is a good question. Best Guess Live is a show. It's a game show. You have to get the app, and it's for Netflix subscribers. But you sign in with your Netflix account, and you can play. And so basically what you get to do is you get to guess. Like they give you 5 clues. You have 20 seconds for each clue, and you get to guess, and you can win real money. So if you do not have the Best Guess Live app, try it out. If you're a Netflix subscriber, it's free and it's cool. And me and Tim did not win any money tonight, but maybe another time. Maybe, Tim, you need to play from home. And
maybe so.
7 o'clock on weeknights. And Howie Mandel is one of the hosts. And then Hunter, I forget what Hunter's last name is, but he's one of the hosts as well. This guy from Miami got hurt pretty bad. We were also watching the Fiesta Bowl here. And, is this the hit?
Running back?
Yeah, I think so. It was a pretty big hit. And, they even had the medical tent up, Tim. So hopefully he's okay. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the show and everything like that. The regular show, we had a good time. Lots of good questions. I felt like, Tim, kind of. I felt like it was a lot of not so specific, but kind of general questions, right?
Yeah.
Like tonight.
A
little bit different, kind of than what we normally do.
Not a lot of monitor questions.
Right, and not specific even games. In some cases, we didn't really know what the games were, so that's always interesting. But anyway, guys, we're going to go on with the after show here. So, Tim, obviously we talked a little Christmas, a little New Year's. Tell me, like, what you got for Christmas. I know you got the grill. That was your big gift.
My big gift.
Okay.
And really, I just got some general stuff from the kids. I didn't get a lot of presents this year. We all kind of decided that it was Holly's first Christmas. Everybody wanted to make it special, so it was really more about her. But my stocking, of course, had some good stuff in it. I can't think of... Mostly what I got was just some gift cards and things that I could use to go out on a date or something with. So, and I like those. At some point in your life, you have most of everything you really need.
It's true.
It's hard for me to think of stuff I want. Because if I want it, I usually will save up and buy it.
That's exactly right.
So, you get to that weird stage in life where, people always say it's hard to buy for your parents or your grandparents because they have everything.
Yep.
I'm kind of there. I did get some money, though. And with the money, I was able to buy a few things that I needed.
Good.
One thing I got was an electrical pin. It just tests circuits and stuff. But what's neat about it, you can, let's say we had a wire 10 feet long. You could go down that wire and it will tell you where the break is in the wire.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool. Like when you're troubleshooting, you don't have continuity, but at what point don't you have it? It'll go beep, 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 and it'll tell you right there. So to me, I had fun kind of playing with that. What about you?
I got a couple of Switch games. So I got the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I got Marvel vs. Capcom Collection because I love those games.
Nice.
And that's just good stuff. Let's see. What else did I get?
Were those something you requested or did somebody know that?
No, that was some stuff that I requested. I got a John Cena action figure from him because, last year was his last year.
Right.
So the kids got me that.
Nice.
I got, let's see, some shirts, socks. Like I got some undershirts.
Yeah.
And I got some socks. I feel like undershirts, socks, underwear. That's like
kind of load up on Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. That's my stuff. So
we all got Christmas pajamas. And
we had Christmas pajamas. Yep. So we always do the matching pajamas every year, Tim. We had our matching pajamas.
We did our first one this year.
Last Christmas I was sick. I don't know if we remember that. And so I was very happy to not be sick this year and be able to do stuff with the kids. My Christmas consisted of basically setting up stuff for my kids, like I said, like MetaQuest and doing that kind of stuff. And, it was good. We had a good time and, it was fun. And, I felt like we spent less than we usually do on Christmas this year. And I don't know if that was just a function of not wanting as much, like everybody just not wanting as much or what. But, my kids got a lot of Lego sets, like I mentioned. So we got to put together some Lego sets. I got the arcade Lego set. In fact, I should go get it real quick.
Yeah.
Fill some time. I'll be right back.
I haven't seen that.
Fill time, Sam.
Okay, I'm right here. I'm filling time. There's nobody even talking in the live chat. I'm just here by myself. No, I guess at some point to me, Christmas is always about the kids anyway.
It's not opened,
but how cool.
This is it.
Oh, nice.
So this is the Lego. It's called Arcade Machine.
Okay.
So, and you can see the inside there. We did a story on this on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So you can see it looks like just a generic space arcade, Tim. And then when you open it up, it's got like a little arcade inside of it.
That's cool.
So I have not put together. It's only 468 pieces, so it's not like a ton, but it's got working coin slot.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to putting this together. We have not done it yet, but pretty cool stuff. If you guys have put this together and you like it, let me know. I think my wife had to order direct from Lego.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if she could find it locally. So I did not get the Game Boy. I was kind of interested in the Game Boy. The Lego Game Boy.
Uh-huh.
But, I told my wife, I'm like, I don't want a ton of Legos anymore. It's just like, I put them together and they're fun to put together, but like, what do you do? I'm not playing with them like my kids do.
Well, that can sit on a shelf or something.
Exactly. I've got some that sit on a shelf. It's cool, and I'm looking forward to putting it together, but just haven't gotten around. I haven't put together mine. I put together the kids. I haven't put together mine. You know how it is, time-wise. So, but that's one of the things I got, which is really cool. And like I said, I got some Switch games besides the ones that I got. I got the Switch 2 this year, so I got some Switch 2 games and things like that. But it was good. So if you guys got this set and you put it together yet, let me know. I'm curious. Let's see. And then New Year's, we went over to friends, and they had a little New Year's get together. We shot off some fireworks, and just kind of hung out in out in the country, outside the city limits, because you can't shoot fireworks inside the city limits. So you have to go somewhere else. So
there were plenty at our house till about 3 o'clock. I'm like, it's over with already. Let's go to bed. But we didn't make it till midnight. We did at home, but at our friend's house, everybody watched the ball drop in New York, which is an hour ahead of us.
Yep.
And we all went, okay, let's go home. So we had a good time. We were playing some card games.
Yeah,
really fun.
Yeah.
About 8 of us.
So the people's house I went over to, they had games and they had prizes. So Alex won like a $10 Amazon gift card, and my wife won $50.
Heck yeah!
So because they had like beer pong, so and the cups were filled with stuff. So you get you get the cups in there. I got Rice Krispie socks. I got Dove chocolate. And I got like something.
You got $50.
Yeah, and my there are different games. There was one called Saran Wrap. Have you seen this?
Yes, where you wrap it and you pass it around.
Yes, exactly. So we did Saran Wrap, and then we did one with money and dice. Mm-hmm. So everybody starts with $3.
Yes,
and you rolled 3 dice. You done that one before, so we did that one too. I did not win. So I did not win any gift cards or money. The most that I won was like the Dove chocolate and the Rice Krispie socks. So there you go. But hey, it was really fun of our friends to do all that. I'm so happy. It was cool of them to put some money into that and host all that. So and they also bought a whole bunch of fireworks for us. So that's really cool. They're good people, and glad to have them as friends. So, but it was fun.
I'm gonna look up a trivia game I played with the kids.
Oh, okay.
And I'm curious if there's anything on here that you might not know.
Okay, I'm curious.
So I'll tell you, people will know most of it.
I need to fill. That was New Year's Eve for us. We had a good time. I worked Monday and Tuesday of Christmas, and I was off the rest of the week. And then I worked Monday, Tuesday, the week of New Year's, and was off the rest of the week. Yeah.
So I asked the everybody 30 and under.
Okay.
And they had to tell me what the answer was.
Okay.
You would know most of these, I think. What does it mean to burn a CD?
Obviously.
Yeah.
They did a lot back in the day. I was about to say did a lot back in the day.
What are the yellow pages?
Yep. I still have yellow pages.
What is a collect call?
Yeah, 1-800-COLLECT, man. Remember those commercials? I'm just saying.
What's the 411?
Oh, the information line.
Yes. Yes. What's a Rolodex?
Oh, man. What we had before contacts and phones. Yes.
I asked this question. Finish this phrase. Please be kind. Please
rewind.
Okay.
If you're a Blockbuster.
All right. So I asked them how they got the windows down in a car in the 1970s.
You rolled them.
This is the one that you might. I want to see if you know.
Okay.
Besides the gas cap, what else would you have to move to put gas in the car? You had to let it down.
Sometimes a license plate.
Yeah,
so I was about to say. But we just got $10 from Current Photograph. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Yeah, sometimes the license plate. Tim, there were some Bel Airs that had it in the tail light. Have you seen that before? Yes, like in the tail light. So
a lot of these you would know. See if you know this one. How much would your first 10 music CDs cost you from Columbia House?
1 penny. And I did that. I was a Columbia House member.
Right.
So I got my 10 CDs for a penny.
What electronic device had rabbit ears?
Yeah, TV.
This one they did not. Nobody knew this.
You can still use rabbit ears, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not the antenna; it's the tuner. That's the key.
Most cars had a button you could press with your foot. What did it do?
Is that wasn't the clutch you're talking about?
No, not the clutch.
I know the button you're talking about. I have no idea what it does. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. What does it do, Tim? I have no idea.
I have to ask the live chat now. So there was a button on the floorboard.
I remember seeing this button when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I've never driven a car with this button in it, so I have no idea
what did that button do?
Okay.
All right, so the answer to that was it was your dimmer for your bright light.
Oh, okay. They actually put it on the foot.
On the floor.
I had no idea. Well, I didn't drive it. I wasn't driving.
Right, you weren't driving. So, then we asked them, like, what was a rotary phone? What's an 8-track? What's a Walkman? They didn't know. We asked them what a Betamax was. They had no clue.
Oh, you see, Paul got it. High beams.
High beams. Yeah.
Betamax, obviously the predecessor to VHS. So, and still used by some newsrooms.
You will know this one. What store had a blue light special?
Oh, Kmart.
They had no idea.
Oh, Kmart, man.
They had no idea.
Now, can I tell you?
Yeah.
My dad hated Kmart.
Yeah.
Every time we went to Kmart, he would say, "We are never going in that store again." He hated it because the service was awful. The one here, if you're trying to find something, they literally would just pile stuff up places. You couldn't find anything anywhere. And if you asked anybody, they just didn't know or they didn't want to help you.
Well, one last one nobody got right, and I think you'll know it, is Baby Jessica fell down a what?
Well.
Well, yeah. So, did you know
that I'm this kid, fell down a well.
What was interesting was, the fact, then going back and reading the facts about it, she was down there 51 or 52 hours.
Yeah.
Hours.
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long in the grand scheme of things, but it felt like
more
it was
than 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody could figure out how to get her out.
Right.
So, anyway, that was, we played that trivia, and that was a really fun, and those were just stuff I made up that I thought kids today may not know.
Have you played Imposter?
No.
Okay, so what it is it's a game you play with your phone, you get an app.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so what it will do is it will show you a topic. And okay, so you'll have the phone, okay, and it'll show you this topic. But one person it will not show the topic to. On one person, when you pass the phone, it'll say imposter.
Okay.
So then what you do is you go around and you say one word about the thing that it shows you.
Okay.
So let's say it was
football.
Football.
Okay.
Right. So so
you would say players.
Right. Exactly. You might say yards.
Yeah.
You'd say one word. But the imposter has to say something about it too, and has no idea. And
everybody else figure out who the imposter is.
Right. So the deal with the imposter is for them to fool you, and you're trying to catch who the imposter is.
Because if everybody else is thinking of football terms, and somebody says daisies,
right,
you're like,
you're the imposter.
You're the imposter.
So you can get the app on your phone. I think it's called Imposter, and so it's a fun game to play. So the example somebody gave me was Peppa Pig. So it's like Peppa Pig. And so you say animal might be a clue. You don't want to give too much away.
Right.
Because then the imposter will catch on.
Right,
exactly. So it's fun because, if you're the imposter, you don't, and it's a random order in how you go. So, the first person could be the imposter, and so then they have to say something and they have no idea what they're going to say.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we really enjoy when we get together with friends playing games like that. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. So, but so it's like I said, it's so that's a cool one. It's fun to play games like that. So we did the Saran wrap, the money, and the beer pong, and you did the thing. Mm-hmm. I did not know the high beams thing. I had no idea. I never drove a car in the, that early on. And so I remember seeing the button though.
Yeah,
I remember seeing it down there.
That's how you would do it. You would hit it to hit
instead of the
light.
thing. By the way, for those of you guys who are keeping track of the game, Ole Miss is up 7-3. So
pretty good game so far.
Yeah, so far very close. So. Any investment talk you want to talk about, Tim? I tell you what, my 401k is looking really good right now.
It's still pumping away. I talk about this sometimes. I'm waiting on it to get cold because I bought a lot of heating oil back in the summer.
Oh yeah, you always say this.
It's not paying off. I'm up, of course, but some areas are getting a lot of snow and stuff. So they're helping me a little bit, but hadn't paid off as much this year as previous years, but it's still early.
That's true. So I've seen some of the stuff with the economy and everything, and I think we're going pretty well right now. I think a lot of it's driven by AI, it seems like. AI has really been kind of pushing the market. I don't know how long. Is AI a bubble, Tim? What do you think? Like, is this something that's going to pop, or are we really going to?
It's a future. We need to be ahead of it, or we're going to be way behind. Okay. Imagine though when, and there's some bad stuff to it, but could be some really good stuff too. You know?
Agreed. So there you go. So market talk. Tariffs, Tim, seem to be still doing. I mean, I still feel like things are a little on the high side. But with that said, I feel like we're kind of normalizing a bit. A
little bit.
Mm-hmm. And that's helpful.
Groceries seem a little bit lower.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, not tremendously. Right. I think a lot of people are still feeling some pain. But,
So did you hear what Trump was going to do with the homes? He's going to prevent
from buying.
He's going to prevent
homes.
These large investment companies from buying single family homes.
Yeah.
Do you think that will help the housing market, or do you think it'll hurt? I mean, what is your opinion of that?
Yeah, in certain areas of the country, for sure, should help it.
Yeah.
Take for instance,
institutional investors. That's what they call them.
Take for instance the Pacific Palisades that burned down.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have been rebuilt. A lot of those were bought up.
Sure.
And taken over, and so we'll see how it could affect. Because before. Now, if you were to buy that area of California, you would have to be rich.
Yeah.
But before, there were people who had been handed down their parents might have been a shoe salesman or something, and they could own a house next to billionaires.
Sure.
Now, that's going to be really difficult. So we'll see how that works out. And what does the uprising in Venezuela, what does that really mean? I don't know. Time will tell.
So obviously the big thing about that is the oil reserves. It sounds like we are going to get some of those, but it does sound like it's going to be a long-term move for the most part, right? This is not something we're going to see the effects of immediately.
No, I think a lot of stuff that's being done, we won't see effects immediately, but we're hoping that sometime in the near future that some of this is, and we do see that. I think gas is down.
Yep.
And stuff. But, it's still a lot of people struggling. Rent's still really high.
Agreed.
I would definitely not say, that the economy is strong and all this. I mean, it is in certain sectors, but for the average people just trying to make a living, a lot of people working a lot of hours and stuff. I hope that some of that starts to balance.
So did I talk about the Invest America accounts on here? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So July 4th is when we can start signing up for those for your kids. And so I do, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Invest America, if I talked about that last time, make sure that if you have kids that are under the age of 18, that you check that out. Invest America accounts. That was part of the BBB that was passed by the President and Congress late last year. And so, you do want to look into that, though, but because basically it becomes a sort of savings investment account for your kids. And if your kids are under a certain age, they're going to get a little bit of a stipend from Michael Dell and his wife, and maybe some other investors as well. So definitely something you want to look into. July 4th is when we can start opening those accounts for any kid that's under the age of 18. And so, again, Invest America, you can check it out. You can read all about it. Do your research. And, if you have kids, take advantage of it. That's what I'll say. Okay, enough about investing. In fact, Current Photograph gave us $10, Tim. I don't know if I made a big enough deal about that. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Current Photograph. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes,
we greatly appreciate it. That is awesome. So thank you. Current Photograph says, speaking of investments, I've got Ford Motor Company. Tim, how do you feel about Ford?
Now the problem with Ford a couple years ago was they were being forced to do electric vehicles that were not profitable.
Correct.
And they were.
I mean, they weren't the only ones. A lot of companies were moving in that direction.
But I think Ford was trying to really push them and stuff. So if things work out and Ford can come up with a more efficient, affordable electric vehicle, I still think that electric vehicles have their place. I would not hesitate, and I think that there's a huge upside. Now, whether they capitalize on it and they come out, some of that deregulation, I think, will help them a lot.
Okay, sounds good. Now, Tim, I believe that Ford's one of those companies that usually pays a pretty good dividend, if I remember correctly. So sometimes Ford stock, even if it doesn't go up for you, may be worth it just for the dividend. And I believe they've been paying that dividend consistently for several years, right? So, I mean, if you're the kind of investor that likes dividends over earnings, then it may be a better, or over
I've
stock
been,
price.
I've been buying some dividend stock, and I was shocked at how much I had made over last year. Wasn't a ton, but it was almost like $100 or something just from dividends.
Yeah.
Some of them were like 2 cents, and but some of them were like $3, $4, and it added up.
Yeah, it does. So Ford's a good one to hold on to just for the dividend, perhaps, if you're the kind of investor who likes dividends, because dividends are nice, Tim, because it's money straight back to you.
Right.
So instead of just getting in stock price like we talked about. So
sorry.
You'll see a lot of what do they call it when you have like a whole bunch of stocks together, like a mutual fund style or index fund. You'll see a whole bunch of index funds or mutual funds that have Ford in there because of the dividend. And so you'll see that quite a bit. And Ford Motor Company, Tim, another thing is that they were really struggling with recalls there for a while, where they were having to recall a lot of stuff. And I think we're getting slowly past that.
It may be a good time to buy Ford.
Maybe a good time to buy because of that. If they can get past all the recalls, because you know how costly recalls are. Super costly. And so if they can get up past all those recalls, you may end up making some pretty good money off Ford. You may see the stock price increase and get the dividend is what we'd hope for. Of course, we have no idea. This is just all conjecture on our part. So take our word for what it's worth.
One thing I'm checking into is, have you heard of this kind of nostalgia? It's a way of, let's say, Elvis's robe come up for sale.
Yeah.
And you want to buy it.
Sure.
But you don't have the $38 million or whatever. You can invest and buy a portion of it like a stock.
Gotcha.
And then when a
collectible stock.
Yeah, collectibles. I'm starting to look into that because let's say, let's give you a real example. Like say, Ohtani rookie card.
Sure.
Reflector or whatever is worth $500,000. Well, you can buy it now, but what if he ends up being the greatest player of all time, and when he retires, that could easily go up to $10 million.
Sure.
And you partly own part of that, and you can get a return. So it allows you to buy. An example, this company was buying the house that The Godfather was filmed in.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody knows the opening scene of A Godfather is the wedding.
Yes.
They charge about $100,000 to do a wedding there, and they book all the time.
I'm sure they do.
Okay? The house cost $4 million, but only the outside looked like The Godfather.
Yeah.
So what they
shot the inside somewhere else.
So what? Right? Yeah. Well, what they're doing is making the inside look like the outside, kind of like they did with the Brady Bunch house.
Right.
And now people are really wanting to book. So you couldn't spend $4 million to buy it, but for a few $100, you could own a piece of it. And hopefully when that sells again one day. Stuff like that is what I'm looking into.
I like that. That's an interesting
It's kind of
investment.
different.
Yeah.
Or just something that you normally could not afford by yourself. But as a collective group, you could invest in. Mm-hmm. So it treats it like an investment.
So Current Phonograph says he reinvests his dividends. I need to do that. Mine are just collecting in the account, which earns like 4% or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in Webull. So like if you're a part of their little cash investment, like a fund, you get like 4% back on whatever's in your.
Yeah, I use something he might use too. It's called DRIP, DRIP, and it just reinvested. It takes it and put it into that account.
Gotcha.
And stuff. So
okay.
Yep.
I may do that. Is that enough for investment talk? Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. I will say that Dave & Buster's
looking a little bit more up.
Dave & Buster's stock still sucks, which is why they need to let me in first whenever the one opens here. I need to be like, look at this loss right here, guys. Look at this loss. I need in there right now. I'm still an owner of AMC stock.
Yeah.
And it's worth it just for the investor relations bonuses that they give people. So. It's worth it for just that.
Yep.
Because it's cheap and you can have it. GameStop is closing a lot of stores, Tim. I don't know if you saw that, because the CEO is going to get a huge bonus if he can reduce. I forget what the exact amount is, but if he can get, if he can get it underneath a certain amount on the, it's not the number of stores, but like the amount that they're, the cost amount that they're having to spend, then he will get a huge bonus, like 38 million or something like this.
Wow.
And so you'll see a lot of GameStop stores closing because he's trying to get under that number to get that bonus.
Don't blame him.
Yeah, 38 million though. Like what kind of bonus is that?
I'm going to go through GameStop to get my cards graded.
Yes. Okay.
That's the best way to get your
really.
cards
I did not
graded.
realize this. Okay.
Yeah,
I know they had grading services.
A lot of people do Pokemon.
Yes, of course.
But they'll do baseball, football, any card.
Okay.
In memorabilia.
I did not know that.
I send my cards. I've got some I'm getting ready to send That's another thing I want to do in this next year is get some of my cards graded, not just to see what they're worth, but more or less it does protect them too.
Yes, it does, because they put in those slow protectors.
And I think eventually some of them could be worth a lot more if they were graded.
For sure. Tim, I have been to all the GameStops here, and I can tell you that all the people who work there are very fine people. I'm a GameStop Pro member, Tim.
Oh, okay.
So just to give you an idea, because we spend so much freaking money there. So I'm definitely helping GameStop. But I do think it's interesting.
$20 to get a card graded, whereas some others might charge $25 or $30. You save a little bit.
Do you get to take it to the physical store too?
Yeah, take it to GameStop and they ship it and do everything for you and tell you when it's back.
Okay, well that's good, because I mean that way you at least are dealing with somebody local.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, it's like, I can go back to the store or whatever. So and like I said, I've had good experiences with all the GameStops here. All the people are really friendly, so I would definitely, it's a fine thing to do. So there you go. Let's talk about sports, Tim. We're obviously watching one of the playoff games. Whoever goes to this is going to the final. And we also know that the other one is Oregon, Indiana, right? And that's tomorrow night.
The best game probably.
You pulling for Indiana?
I think I am.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't have any dogs in this fight, but if I would like to see Ole Miss, Indiana. I think Ole Miss got really robbed by their coach, and so I'm kind of pulling for them. And then Indiana's kind of like the Cinderella story. I just think it'd be great for their program. Did you see?
Miami just scored touchdown.
What do they call it? What's going on right now? Where all the players are switching.
The transfer portal.
Yeah, the transfer portal's open, but Indiana is raking some players. It's like, wow. And
look at that! That was a face mask right through the end zone. Oh my goodness!
And you were kind of surprised today when I sent you who is coming to work.
Yeah.
For Oklahoma as a tight end coach, Jason Witten.
That's good.
But he also has a son that's a pretty good tight end that they're recruiting.
Yeah.
I think Jason Witten's got an excellent
There were rumors that he may have an opening with Cowboys.
I think he needs a little bit more experience, and I think he'll get it. And definitely a big-time college program will do it, but hopefully his son also will go there.
Okay, so what is your prediction for the final here? So you're predicting Ole Miss, Indiana?
I'm Ole Miss, Indiana, and I think Indiana is going to win everything. They have really dominated. They manhandled Alabama. They're good on everything.
Well, Miami's up now, 10-7. And I will tell you, Miami took out Ohio State, which I didn't think was possible.
I didn't think that was possible either.
Yeah, so be careful with that.
I'm not saying Miami couldn't do it. I'm rooting for them, for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss, Indiana. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about NFL, Tim. Cowboys. Gone.
Long gone, playing for draft picks. What's weird, though, is losing to the Giants on the last season. The Giants actually won the game. They could have got the number one draft pick if they lost. Right. So I'm like, why would you win? And they were so happy, but they hadn't beat the Cowboys in 14 games or something like that. So they were just taken up on
it was a nothing
fighting a wounded animal.
Yeah.
Cowboys fired their defensive coach. Well, every year we get our hopes up. I'm beyond hopes and dreams. I'm just, one day maybe they'll be good again. I don't know. It's frustrating being a fan, that's for sure. But I'm not switching teams.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Tim, it's really frustrating to be a Mavericks fan right now. They are they're 14-23. They won last night. Wow. 14-23. Not a great record, Tim. I will say this: when Anthony Davis is healthy, he's good, but that's when he is healthy, which is not
very often.
Very often. So there you go.
The Stars are more fun to watch.
The Stars are doing great. 25-9-8 right now, Tim. Really looking good. Actually, I think they won. Did they win last night?
Did y'all get to go to a Stars game?
We have not been to one yet. Still trying to get one in. Want to go to a Dallas Stars game this year because they are good. But Tim, they lost like 3 out of their last 4. Last night might have been the first one they won in a while. So it's good though. So good stuff there, and looking forward to more hockey as the season goes on. Don't really have anything else, I think, sports wise, Tim. Movies, TV shows. What you got?
I've been watching. I was going to say this. Now I forgot. Do one of yours and let me think about. There was something I wanted to bring up that I watched.
So I've been watching the same things I was watching last month, except I did add Fallout in there.
I watched one of the things you recommended last month. Now I can't remember what it was.
But I did add Fallout in there. So Fallout is on Prime Video. It is based on the video game. Yes. Season 2 is out, and it is good.
It looks good.
Very good so far. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I watched was the new Running Man with Glenn Powell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the movie. It's out and on demand. It's good.
It's good?
I know people are trashing it. It is, look, the original is corny, silly, and knows what it is.
Right.
This one is good in a different way.
Okay.
It's a different kind of movie. It is not really the same at all as the original. It is, the concept's different in that, like, basically you have to hide from everybody because everybody has the app and it can at any time alert basically everybody of where you are.
Okay.
Okay.
With modern day.
Yes,
person.
exactly.
Okay.
So there are like hunters that are specifically hunting you, but basically everybody is hunting you.
Okay.
So, I mean, you are trying to avoid all cameras. And so he goes to a friend who gives him a whole bunch of disguises and things so he can try to avoid things. But people still find him. I mean, but he's like, he wants money for his kid who's sick. That's why he enters. And then they, of course, just like in the original, they make it look like, he was this tough bully guy who got into trouble all the time. But I thought the acting is good. I thought that look, it's a little over the top, but it's supposed to be a little over the top. The original was like a lot over the top. It's a little over the top. Still very good. I like Glenn Powell and almost anything I see the man in. I really liked it. So I highly recommend The Running Man. It's worth your time. Okay. So it's not the original. Don't compare it to the original. It's a good film on its own. It stands alone. Okay. So there you go.
We watched some Christmas movies. So many of them.
Do you want me to look at the stuff I recommended last month, just so I can give you like the.
I know I watched. Well, we watched a lot of stuff. And but we've
also watched more than me.
But we've also just been like on episodes of like Dateline, and they take like an hour.
Oh yeah.
And so
Dateline does good reporting, y'all. Yeah. Good reporting.
It's fun to watch those old episodes, and some of them that we've never seen. A lot of them we've never seen.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to look at the outline for last month. So that's 106.
106, yeah.
106. Let me see what I had here.
But really, we haven't been to the movies.
So the things I recommended last month were Zootopia 2, F1, Happy Gilmore 2, Casting Crowns, Ghost, Abbott Elementary, Shifting Gears. That's what I recommended last month.
Well, I guess I lied then. Okay. It must have been the month
105.
before. I don't know. We watched something.
I
was like, because I thought you recommended it.
Tron Ares, Gen V, the Simple Plan documentary, Rainmaker, Diplomat. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this.
I did see that.
Yeah, that's
so. But a lot of it we just been. We haven't. You ever getting that low where you need a show?
Yes.
It's like I hate that we finished up some shows and it's like we just haven't found our show yet. We like a show that we can watch every night.
The Summer I Turn Pretty.
I have started that.
Okay, look at that. Okay,
that's good.
It. So the paper on Peacock, no?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. The Naked Gun, Jurassic World Rebirth, no?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else, or maybe something we talked about.
I don't know. Yeah. I watched the Dave Chappelle special. I didn't put it on there.
I did watch that.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
So I would like to watch The Running Man. Current Photograph says it's worth your time. Find it on demand. Get it. It's good. But the Dave Chappelle was really good. The new one. He talks about how he felt like he could speak more freely in Saudi Arabia than here.
Yeah,
I thought was good.
That was funny.
The thing I like about Dave Chappelle is he pulls no punches. He hits everybody.
Right,
I like the fact that he hits everybody. Everybody gets hit. I love it. So, guys, he's a master comedian.
The favorite line: "A falcon came down."
Yeah. So I think everybody loves those Dave Chappelle specials. They're fantastic. He's a great comedian. I was trying to think. There's that Chevy Chase documentary I want to see. Have you seen anything about that one? I saw that. I was trying to think if there's anything else. I didn't watch as much because we were busy. I mean,
that's how
December was busy. The Running Man is good though, and I would definitely recommend it. I was trying to think of what I want to see, like movie wise, going forward. This year, Super Mario Galaxy is so on our list. I mean, that's definitely something we're gonna. And Tim, we may do a birthday movie theater rental for that because it's literally like the day before my birthday comes out.
Okay, one thing we talked about earlier, a show that I have been watching every night. I watch an episode or two. I'll start watching about 4 because they always end on a cliffhanger. Is the King of Collectibles.
Okay, you were saying
you need to watch King of Collectibles.
King of Collectibles. You told me that.
That's on Netflix, and that's very good. And each episode's probably about 30, 40 minutes. And like I said, they always leave because they're like, it's going up for auction now, and they're waiting, and then you're like, next episode, and you're like, well, I got to see how much it went for.
Beast Games. We're watching Beast Games.
Yeah,
Because Beast Games season 2 is back. They dropped the first 3 episodes last night, I think.
Okay.
So we're watching Beast Games
that.
season 2 now. It's not. It's only 200 people. Like last year it was 1,000, right? So I haven't seen the Jody Hildebrand story, the evil influencer.
I have. We did watch that.
That's on my list. Okay, I'm gonna add that one. So we have been watching the Mark Rober videos on Netflix, even though I've also seen them on YouTube. I love Mark Rober. Have you seen his videos?
Mm-mm.
He used to be a NASA engineer, and he does like cool videos. Like he did an entire squirrel maze, like in his backyard, kind of stuff. Okay. And he does all sorts of cool things. You should watch. Well,
you would like the King of Collectibles, especially when it comes to the video game stuff.
Mm-hmm. Priscilla is on Netflix. I was curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's a lot of new stuff coming out.
Yeah, Priscilla was something I was interested in. Let's see. I'm looking at my thing. I have not seen Stranger Things. Have you been watching Stranger Things?
I watched the first episode. I started to, and I don't know why. I just have not, and I was all into it. I just have not caught up this time.
So you recommended The Beast in Me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I tried to watch it, Tim, and I think it's just me watching things late at night. It was too slow. I couldn't. Does it get like? Is there a point at where it like hits?
I think so.
Okay, because maybe I just need to power through it. I mean, it's like the story is engaging, but it wasn't engaging enough for me. I was falling asleep, so I was like, I need to probably watch this when I have time during the day.
Don't have Netflix on that.
Oh, there you go. But so I mean, I tried to watch it. I love Matthew Reese. I want to watch it, but it wasn't that I couldn't get into it. It's just that I started falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this during the day, apparently. So, but I mean, it looked good. I still have it on my list. I still want to hit it. So
I'm so curious of something. There's something that I've been wanting to talk to you about.
Okay. There's Best Guess Live.
King of Collectibles is good.
Okay. And I do. I have never seen Homeland. And I really want to watch Homeland. I'm a huge 24 fan. It's like the same people who did it. I really want to see that now that it's on Netflix. I'm going to watch the whole thing. So Homeland is on my list.
I've never watched Breaking Bad.
Me neither.
Many people, and you know what? And I like the guy, the actor and everything.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston.
I think I thought it was going to be, I'll be honest, I like to watch Landman, but it's just about as much as I can tolerate. Sure. It's a lot of F language and stuff. But I like the drama in it, and I like it, but it pushes me. And I thought that Breaking Bad would be like that, and it's not.
Okay.
It's actually, it really...
I mean, people have called that maybe the best show ever.
And I can see why.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it really is.
Are you going to watch Better Call Saul afterwards?
Yeah, probably. Okay. It really is good.
Okay.
Did you watch anything on the Sean Combs The Reckoning?
No, I've seen, like that came up a couple of times when I was on Netflix. Like I saw the preview for it. I have not seen it.
Okay.
I've heard the clips from it. Like I've heard some of the clips and things, but I have not seen it.
It's decent. It's good. It's okay. It's worth a watch.
There's Mark Rober.
Yeah.
So Mark Rober does YouTube videos. His stuff's just now on Netflix.
Well, I should have messaged you when I watched it or whatever. I always forget.
Jody Hildebrand we talked about before because we both watched like a lot of stuff with
if you watch the other one, you need to watch this one because this is a whole different perspective on the whole thing. It's really interesting. Well, I'm about ready to wrap it up. What about you, John? I need to get home.
You want to watch the rest of this game, too.
I'm going to get home and watch some of it. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. And
absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Especially thank you to Kern Phonograph, who's a parent. Kern Phonograph and Paul Duray were the only ones who stuck around for the after show.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for hanging in there through the 15-minute wait while we were doing Best Guess Live. Download the Best Guess Live app and play it. I'd love to see how you guys do. Earn some real money. It's like a lottery, I mean, except you don't have to pay for it. Unless you're already a Netflix subscriber. You're paying for it. So it's really fun, interactive, live game show stuff. Good like that. If you have any questions in the meantime, please let us know. Questions@arcaderepairtips.com. 4 weeks until our next live show. That'll be first week of February. Looking forward to that. And we'll see you guys then. But until then, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a great night.
I should have mentioned that I will be in the Macon, Georgia area next week in case anybody's listening.
So if you're near Macon, Georgia, and you want to hang out with Tim, send us an email.
I'll be there for a week.
Questions@arcaderepairtips.com, and maybe you and Tim can hang out. Anyway, guys, take care. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Great to see everybody, and we'll see you next month.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I gotta hit this button or else I'll get out of here. Here we go.